All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to AIMBOT. It's a show all about showcasing how incredibly good FPS runners are at their games. I'd say more, but there's just so much that you can do at FPS games. So the past few weeks, we've shown off games that are largely straightforward in their execution. There haven't been too many game-breaking glitches. But all that's going to change tonight. This is a set of 3 games that I've done some runs of, and they're just broken out of their minds. This is one of the funniest game series I've ever seen to run, because you can ignore so many things and you can do so many things that the game otherwise doesn't intend you to. I've got a really skilled runner with me here, KPC Zombie. So KPC, just let's go ahead and take it away. Show us BioShock.
Yeah, so hi everybody, I'm KPC. You can start the timer in like 30 seconds maybe, I'll let you know. There's a big cutscene at the start of this game, so I can do my introduction, who I am, what I run then. Alright, you can start the timer. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, yeah, so hi everybody, I'm KPC. I speedrun the BioShock games. I've been speedrunning these games for 5 years. So I'm pretty decent at them. One thing that's really exciting about the BioShock games, about a month and a half ago, we actually found a new clip, a new way to clip through walls, and that's never been possible before in these games. So the run has kind of exploded recently. We dropped it about 10 minutes, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm in the Discord, and I was watching all of you like discover this, and that was part of what I was like, okay, I gotta show this off. This is so cool.
Yeah, I was like frantically posting. I'm like, oh my god, everybody, look what I just found. Ah. So yeah, there's a bunch of clips in the levels. I think 4 or 5 levels use them. So you can skip a bunch of annoying stuff. And they're really easy to do, actually. I know a lot of games clips are like these crazy setups. You're like frame perfect, all that nonsense. These are actually pretty easy to do. So the first trick, I've already did it. You may have noticed I'm on top of this bathysphere instead of inside of it. The reason we do this is the trigger to leave the level is above us, and we go up into it. So if we're on top of it, we hit it a few seconds sooner. But the real reason, that's the fake reason, the real reason we do it is because we can see things that the devs didn't want us to see. And you've all seen this cutscene, the famous BioShock cutscene. It looks so good, it's all made so well, and you'll see, it definitely is. It definitely is.
It's such good framing, but then when you do this instead, it's just not.
Yeah. Just like none of these tunnels have doors on them. If anyone's trapped in there, they're just dead. That tunnel you see in a second, that's not even connected to the building. You'll see right there, not even connected. My personal favorite is this tunnel behind us here. There's 2 of them. It goes from that building and, okay, they just didn't put the other building there. Interesting. This guy, the Big Daddy here, he's not holding anything. And he's also trapped in there. There's no doors on either side, so he'll be there for all eternity. Everyone's favorite, the whale that stops moving. So yeah, most iconic cutscene. This is floating too. I will say though, considering how broken it is, it looks really good from inside the bathysphere. It's really hard to tell. So that's basically the only cutscene in the entire game. We do there's like 1 more minute of cutscene at the start here. And the next basically half an hour, it's just non-stop action.
Yeah, I'm frankly astonished like how well this game like holds itself together with all the sequence breaking that you can do in it. It's really impressive.
I think it's always funny. If he had a gun, why didn't he shoot Splicer? Also, you'll notice something. He died on the outside of the bathysphere, obviously. But when the lights turn on, this blood is actually on the inside of the bathysphere. So he died so hard that the blood went through the wall. F for Johnny. His name's Johnny. The subtitles here are amazing. Sounds of exertion. I think the next one is shouts of frustration, yeah. And you can clearly see, actually the blood's not even attached to the window. I don't know if you can see that. It's like right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the kind of things you notice when you have to watch that cutscene. Probably I've seen that well over 1,000 times. Just notice little things. There you go on top. All right, so the first like big trick of the run is coming up. It's with the Electrobolt Plasmid. Normally there is a big cutscene you gotta watch, but we don't like cutscenes, so I'm gonna skip it. Oops. So I'm gonna do some trickery with saving and loading here. So we started the cutscene and then we tricked the game. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna go for a 360 here. Ready? Ah, I missed. Oh well. Yeah, so we tricked the game into giving us control when we're not supposed to after we start the cutscene. So the cutscene's actually going now. You'll notice my screen has these black bars on them. And also, you'll notice I'm jumping. That's because the game is pulling me back towards the cutscene. It's like, hey fam, come watch this. Or it's like, nah fam. So you'll see in like a second here, I'm actually getting dragged this direction. And it just keeps dragging you in the direction of the cutscene. And this like dragging effect kind of stays for the rest of the level. Not the rest of the game, don't worry. That would be awful. It's actually not that bad once you do it a few times. It's definitely difficult at first.
Do all the cutscenes in the game do that kind of dragging thing? Or is it just that one?
No. You can force it to happen a few other places, but it's the only one we do in the run. I think it's really fun. I've done this a lot, so I'm decent at it. So I'd like to play the entire game like this for fun, just to like see how it is. But I'm probably the only person who thinks that.
Plasmids changed everything. They destroyed our bodies, our minds. We couldn't handle it. Friends butchering.
Yeah, so we actually got here too fast. We have to wait. If you go into that theater too early, it'll soft lock you. So I just have to wait there a little bit. I didn't get there too soon, but also there is another cutscene here. And because we did this trick, we can also skip this cutscene too.
So a couple
It's
people in
actually
chat-
really...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. What were you saying?
A couple people are asking, is the dragging faster than just watching the cutscene?
Oh, yes. It's like 3 minutes faster. Yeah, if you don't do this, you're definitely going to be... It'll be slower, but your sanity will be in check. This dragging's giving you anxiety. I'll try to hit these shots here. I'm notoriously bad at it.
The genetic material that keeps the wheels of
All right. For everyone who doesn't like the dragging, don't worry. The level's almost over. So, and there's one last cutscene on this level that we just refuse to watch. Actually, if you shoot Electrobolt at that door, the level will just end for some reason. It's the only door in the game that does that. But we take it. All right, so medical. This is the second level in the game. And this is the first level where we have one of the new clips. So for the clips to work, we need the telekinesis plasmid. And basically, as soon as we get the plasmid, we just start clipping through the walls and getting out of here. Yikes. All right, this is fine. All right, so I left that one splicer alive on purpose, and we're gonna come back to that splicer in a minute. Aimbot, I'm bad at aiming.
Sorry, I supplied a bad aimbot, you know what I'm saying?
So I grabbed some ammo there, I'm gonna use it next level. And basically right now it's just a walking simulator. We're gonna get Incinerate, the fire plasmid, and then I'm gonna go for telekinesis.
Yeah, one of the things I've always been curious about is like how tightly is all the, like is there any point where you need a certain item off an enemy?
Not really. Yeah, I'd say not really.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just,
BioShock 1 is, there's very little RNG in this game, which is very nice. Alright, so now we have the plasmids. Just flew into the wall, don't worry about it. Alright, so now, here's the first clip. So the way the clips work is you stand on top of a splicer's head, you kill the splicer, and then you actually stay on top of the dead body's hitbox. So I'm gonna be spamming quick save throughout all of these tricks. So I'm on the head now, and we can move the body around with telekinesis. I'm gonna clip through that gate there. And that's the level.
I love these so much.
Yeah, so the reason this trick works at all, I should probably say, it'd be funny if I just went through and never explained it. The way it works is when you're on top of the dead body, the game doesn't know what to do with our hitbox. So we can clip through walls because we don't have a hitbox. And if anyone's wondering how in the world someone would find that trick, it sounds so stupid. Well, I found it because I was riding around on top of a Big Daddy's head, and we went on an adventure together for like an hour. We were just hanging out, killing enemies. I was like helping him defend his sister. And then for some reason, he attacked me. And I felt betrayed. We had become best friends, and he betrayed me. So then I killed him, and I stayed on top of his body. And that's how that happened. So I'm buying some plasmids here. We use Winter Blast to help lock the splicers in place. So I'm gonna use this guy's hat to kill him. Betrayed by a hat. All right, so we're gonna do another clip here. This one, we're a little farther away from the door. So we have to move the body a little. But it's fine. Moving the body is actually pretty easy. You have a surprising amount of control over it with telekinesis. Oh no, I didn't get all the way through. That's why you quick save, kids. Yeah, so we have to kill. Normally we save that sister, we have to kill the sister now because the new trick. We need the plasmids and we need the atom.
I was wondering if that was the reason. If it was just that, like, you're so short on Adam that, yeah.
Yeah, also, everyone who's ever speedrun this game knows about the little sister escort mission. And in that level, she can either walk or run. And if she walks, your run basically dies. So every runner of this game has, like, pent-up aggression against the sisters. So when we have the chance to kill one, we normally do. Yeah, so the theme of that last fight was it takes away your weapons and then it gives you your weapons back. But the way it actually works is it takes away your weapons and then it gives you the weapons that you should have at this point in the game. So it just gave me the shotgun and grenade launcher for free. I have weapons now, which is very good. I'll need them later. Harvesting is actually slower. The animation is longer. But we need to do it. Don't worry, I saved the next one. Gotta give that hand a high five. So there's another cutscene here. But actually, if you just hit the button and then walk backwards, you can get out. Like, the door doesn't go down fast enough, so you can just leave leave the cutscene before it starts. Oh, and if anyone is wondering what Atlas or Fontaine looks like, spoilers, by the way. He's right here. We ignore him. Yeah, this level's super short. It's pretty easy. If you see me going into the menu, it's because I'm doing audio skips. This game, a lot of the time, requires messages to play before, like, doors will open or before you can leave a level. So if we manually play a message, it'll skip over that. Go back. You want to see what he looks like? You'll have to learn the run and do it yourself. Door, no! You betrayed me. Alright, so we're gonna kill this big daddy over here and save the little sister. I guess you could kill her if you wanted to. Yeah, so this is the last sister we interact with. Here at this Gatherer's Garden, we're gonna buy decoy. If I can find it. Put it over fire. Alright, so if you've ever seen speedruns of this game before these clips, you probably know about flings. It's where you use objects to fly through the air. And this is actually the first one you're going to see in the run. So I get on top of an object, I jump, I use telekinesis to bring the object towards me, and we collide with the item and it throws us up in the air. Normally this level, there's the trees, poison comes down for the trees and we gotta save it or something, I don't know. We skip over all of that.
Yeah, I think one of the things that, like, originally drew me to this run was watching, like, a run of this at GDQ, like, so long ago, and it was just precisely setting up the Gatherer's Garden fling, and that was just so cool. Alright, so this level, Fort Frolic, you know, it's a fan favorite. Sander Cohen, what a wacky character. Who doesn't love him? I
can't wait until we see what shenanigans we're gonna get up to with him. All right, good level. Good level, everybody. Yeah, we skip all of that level. It's the same trick as the last one.
Yeah, that works because the bathysphere is just invisibly there, right?
Yeah, the trigger to leave the level still is there. So we use a fling to get over to it and then just activate it. And we have a setup to find it quickly. All right, so this is the next new clip we do. We need to bait this guy. We need to walk him through a bunch of walls. Not walls, a bunch of doors. And he can run away, but it looks like he's going to behave for me. Oh, beautiful. No! Oh, wait. I thought he ran away. What are you doing? Actually, even going to quick save here.
He rots in that Neverland, waiting for someone to come and tell him he's still got it.
Yeah, so Hephaestus... nice scream.
He's having a great time.
That's funny. Yeah. He's chilling. You know, he's stuck on something. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so same thing as last time. We got on top of his head. I'm gonna put decoy down over there so he runs over to it. Now when he's up here, I'm gonna kill him. If you collide with something on the way down, you will fall off. And that's why I had to reload that there. But now that we're on top of the dead body, we can just go through the wall. We can go through the wall and leave the level.
So
Yeah, so that level, building the bomb and just everything is, it's very difficult. It's basically, it was the hardest level in the game, in my opinion. But now it's not as hard. This level,
it looks like
is
you're just flinging the body at the door. Is it just that easy?
Yeah, so it works differently than a fling. Although I will grant, it looks very similar. We walk to the edge of the body, and then because the body still has a hitbox, so the body will stop at doors. One sec. Yeah, so the body stops at doors, but we don't. So we walk to the edge of the body, and then throw the corpse into the wall we want to skip through. So hopefully, by the time the body hits the wall and stops, we're actually through it. That's kind of how it works.
Got it.
If I had Microsoft Paint right now, I could draw you a 10 out of 10 picture to explain it better. Yeah, so this level, you're probably wondering what the heck is he doing? This is the Andrew Ryan cutscene. It's, you know, famous, would you kindly, iconic cutscene. But we're gonna skip over it. And the way we do that is I started the cutscene, and then I left the level through a little warping trick. And now the cutscene is going on right now. But because we're not in the cutscene, we can kind of just walk around it. So I'll turn around and show you Andrew Ryan like floating through walls and stuff when we get over there. But actually in the speedrun, Ryan lives, so I don't know how that works with the rest of the canon and lore.
I was gonna say,
So I
does
have
he
this
still like
object.
beat himself to death or something?
Yeah, he beats himself to death. That's how that works. All right, so I flew over that wall with the same trick that I've been doing the last few levels. I gotta make a save load here. And he's going. There's gonna be a cutscene here, it might be loud.
Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly get this thing? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
All right, so skipped over all the messages there, and now I'm gonna leave the level. I'll show you Andrew Ryan floating around. Yeah, he does that floating part normally when it's like turn, run. So you're looking away, running away from him. And that's when he floats over. So this is the closest thing to a cutscene in the run. It's kind of just have to wait a little bit for messages. There's some audio skips we can do, and there's lots of things you can jump on and parkour around to waste the time.
You are his tool, brought back to Rapture to save him. You have saved him.
All right, now we wait.
We made your mind with many locks and keys. Fontaine has most of those keys, but not all. Switchon designed your mind.
That's mine.
Fontaine to control you.
That's mine.
You might find answers in Switchon's flat in Mercury.
It's as easy as stealing candy from a baby.
I did not know that was an interaction you could do.
There he is. The one who will save us all.
This is a thing too, by the way.
Who's he?
This doesn't do anything, it's just kind of funny.
So I guess while we're hanging out waiting, have you made a tutorial for this game? Is there somewhere people can check that out?
Yeah, so we have a Discord for all the BioShock speedrunning games, and you can find the tutorials for all 3 games and all the DLCs over there. There's a tutorial for BioShock 1. It doesn't have the new clipping, the wall clipping, but I did make a wall clipping tutorial. I'm like the person who makes the tutorials. So there is a tutorial for the wall clipping if anyone wants to learn this game. I think it's a very fun game. It's fast, it's skill-based, there's no RNG. I think it's a really good game to run. But yeah. The community is great. Everyone's really helpful and nice. There's never any drama. Alright, so if you know BioShock, you know this is the part of the game where there's the Lot 192, where we lose control of our plasmids. But you may have noticed I'm not doing that. That's because we're gonna clip through a wall and leave the level early.
I'm sensing a theme.
Yeah, it's the theme of this run. Uh-oh. Oh no, where'd my dude go? Come on. Sir, may I have a moment of your time? Thank you. Sir, he's not behaving. Get these bikes out of here. So I put that decoy there to move him away from the wall. Sometimes if you kill him right away and he's next to the wall, he'll get stuck on the wall. So there's an invisible wall. I'm saying wall a lot right now. There's an invisible wall down there that you can't get through. If you're wondering, why doesn't he just run down? So we're gonna use this dead body to get through the invisible wall. There we go.
What a friendly guy.
He's very helpful. Also, there are 2 elevators there. There's a working one, and then there's a not working one. Just choose the not working one. So I feel like I just started, but we're actually getting close to the end. The next level, there's 2 more wall clips, and the second one is crazy. You fly through the air, and we have to navigate the level while flying through the air on top of a dead body. So look forward to that. Actually, I want that.
Once you are free of Fontaine's control, then you can
Yeah, so this level is it's infamous among BioShock runners. The trick is called Last Chance Kid, and that's because it's a kind of difficult jump, and every time you reload it, Fontaine screams Last Chance Kid. So it's a very clever name. But we have a setup to make it not too bad. Oh no. So there's Atlas T-posing. We got to get through that door before it closes. So it's kind of difficult, easy with a little practice. So this is everyone's least favorite level. I think everyone's in agreement about that. Normally you hit the vent to get the sister, but we're gonna clip through some walls and get a different vent. There's this random vent halfway through the level that'll just give you a sister. So we're gonna get over to that. My aim is so bad. I'm really just the worst person to have for like an aimbot event. My aim is horrible.
And people think that I give the runners aimbots for this show. I don't. I promise.
Yeah, no one will be accusing me of that. All right. So we, same as always, just casually gonna clip through the wall. So most of the clips up to this point, there's been something really nice. There's been like a really nice setup for us. Like a railing that's the same height as the splicer's head or something else. But this one we kind of have to MacGyver a setup. So we're gonna take this ashtray and bring it over on top of this couch. And this ashtray, I don't mind this ashtray, but it seems like it's everyone's new least favorite thing about the run. This splicer says some interesting things. It also has a potty mouth. Yeah, so this splicer actually has a name. So you all know Atlas from the start of the game. This guy, he doesn't have a hat on, so his name is Hatless.
Oh my god.
You call that gratitude?
That's his name. There we go. Oh no, I thought I had it. So I keep falling off because I'm colliding with his machine gun on the way down. That time, there we go. All right, so now we're gonna fly through the air. Literally. Oh, did I not crouch? Oh, I did. All right, literally flying through the air. This is a little hard to control, but first try.
Oh wow.
And we just skipped over 2 of the 3 harvests that are on this level, which is very nice. And now the level more or less plays out like it did before the clips. But in general, we still have to keep this little sister running, which isn't too bad. He lost it. Oh no. What have I done?
She's walking.
She's walking. Oh, she started running again. Let's see. She's walking. That's fine. Come on. She'll start running here. there's a trigger for her right here. The sisters, it works on her checkpoint system, and it forces her to run here. There you go. Oh, I just gotta jump through the air. All right, Kobe. What? Die. Perfect. All right, so I do a bunch of unnecessary parkour here because I think it looks cool. Oh no. Oh, she's walking again. No. And I fell off. Oh, this is a disaster. Ah.
Run canceled. Run it back. Unacceptable.
Reset. Yeah, so there's 6 splicers that spawn at each of these harvest locations. And the last one is always a spider splicer.
So I saw this on GDQ a couple of times, and I didn't know until those runs that you could like loot people when you pick them up. So the next time I played this game, I was doing that the whole time. I would always walk over to them like a chump.
She really just doesn't care. That's fine. You can walk a little. I'll walk with her. Come on. Actually, do I have grenades? No.
Leisurely stroll.
Yep. Oh no, she's going that way. Oh, this is intense. I'm waiting here because a Big Daddy is about to spawn, and I don't want to trigger him. It's the Kool-Aid Man Big Daddy, because he bursts through the wall, like you'll see. Ah! Ah, no, I put a decoy down. Hit the decoy. All right, so a little unfortunate it was walking there, but that's fine. No problem at all.
Someone in chat asked, is the walking RNG? And from what I can remember, it's like manipulatable, but also RNG.
Yeah, so it's not RNG at all. I messed up, basically. It is kind of difficult to keep her running the whole time, and especially with the new clip, it kind of works differently. So we're still figuring it out. After I found these skips and like did all the glitch hunting and everything, I got really busy IRL, so I haven't been able to put in like tons and tons of hours into this level specifically. So I'm not sure why it failed, but I know I did something wrong.
It's okay. People won't know. You can just say it's RNG, and I'll be like, oh yeah, definitely.
I remember when me and the crowd put you in that sub. You were no more than...
Oh, am I overestimate? Oh no,
You were my ace
Are you?
in the
I don't know.
hole.
Oh,
it's fine. The other game will be under.
Also the closest thing I ever had to a son. And that's why this hurts. Betrayal, kid. Life ain't strictly...
All right, so this is the final boss. Final bosses are notorious for being the most difficult fight in the game. So this fight has 3 waves. And that's the first wave. Oh, I'm under? I have my own timer going. It says I'm way over, but I'll trust you. All right, so that was the second wave. And time is now. Okay. And that's BioShock 1. I'll be doing BioShock 2 in just a second here, so I don't know. We're going to break. How does this work?
Yeah. I just have a couple things to say before we go to break. Again, if you're enjoying this run, check out KPC on Twitch, linked in chat. Frost Vitalis game and volunteer submissions are open from now until November 14th. Go to gamesdonequick.com/more. Go to gamesdonequick.com for more information. I promise I can read. If you've missed on any GDQ HotFix shows, like the Ender Lilies randomizer right before this, or the BioShock run that just happened, check out the archive at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And if you're watching this on YouTube, check us out at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick for the live shows, most nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. And before we go to break, HotFix is funded in part thanks to your subscriptions and bits. So please consider subscribing to help future broadcasts, or if you just want to hear the music in the ad breaks and not hear the ads. All right, welcome back, everyone. So in opposition to the first game, this game was always kind of the dark horse of the BioShock trilogy, right? Because it didn't have quite as many skips until all this clipping was discovered, right, KPC?
Yeah, this game had a few audio skips, but more or less that was it. There was no big glitches or big time saves anywhere.
Awesome. Well, whenever you're ready, take us through it.
Yeah, so let's get into it. So yeah, I'm KBC. I'm still here. They can't get rid of me.
Wouldn't want to. You got to show all this off.
Yeah, so there would be a little cutscene here, and then when we gain control, I'll let you know. I'll start the timer.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, so this game, it's Drill Dash was like the big thing for the speedrun. It's like a small dash forward ability, and just managing your money and having enough fuel. You can start the timer now. Having enough fuel, you can see in the bottom, it says drill fuel. Having enough fuel to get through and never run out was like the big thing for this run. But then the wall clips that you just saw in BioShock 1, they also work the exact same way in this game. So now there's a bunch of wall clips, and basically the entire second half of the game is completely broken. It's actually funny how it worked out, because the first half of the game is more or less, there's no wall clips anywhere that we can use. So the first half is more or less the same as it was, but then halfway through, we stop playing the game. It's only the wall clips. And the clips in this game, because there were no major skips, like really big skips for BioShock 2 before, the skips in this game saved so much time. World record got shaved down by over 20 minutes in this game. It went from like an hour and 5 to about 45 minutes, a little over that, but about that. My sensitivity, I don't know why. I play this game on a crazy high sensitivity. So it's always, when I play BioShock 1 and 2 back to back, it always takes me a few levels to adjust to the insane sensitivity.
Yeah, this is really high.
At last, a signal. You who are bringing this dead city to life, listen. My name, it is Tannenbaum. I know who you are, and I am in much need of your help. Please, find me in the Atlantic Express train station.
So all of my brain power is going to the aiming right now.
Mother to the Rapture family.
I'll adjust. Usually by the time I get to Ryan Amusements and Pauper's Drop, the 3rd and 4th levels, it's fine.
Big sister doesn't want you.
Yeah, so I see some noise in the chat right now. I am a BioShock 2 defender. I think this game is amazing. The story wasn't good, but I'm someone who kind of just likes the gameplay I'll rate a game based on the gameplay rather than the story, and the gameplay of BioShock 2 is fantastic. So I think this game was good. You are right next to me. This is interesting. Oh, you let yourself on fire, idiot. Good job. Yeah, so this fight, it's impossible to win this fight. So rather than trying to like struggle, we just lose as fast as we can. I can't die right here. And it's a shame that the story for BioShock 2 wasn't as good, because that means a lot of people didn't play the Minerva's Den DLC, which has a really good story. It has weapons. I'm a big fan of Minerva's Den. It has a new plasmid. That's my favorite plasmid. It has a crazy new weapon. It's very good. If you have it and haven't played it because BioShock 2 wasn't as good, you should give Minerva's Den a try. It's shorter, so it's not as much of a commitment. I'm actually, the entire reason I'm here today is to just try to sell copies of Minerva's Den. I tricked you all.
We've been buffooned.
You can still reach the train station. Find me there.
So I'm jumping through the water because jumping through the water is faster than walking through water in the BioShock 1 and 2 games. And this level is, it's kind of uneventful, really. Gravity well, yeah, that's the plasmid. And the big reveal, where's the turtle? Oh, I missed it. That shark eats a turtle.
Oh.
All right, it's time for everyone's favorite game. It's called the texture game. See this building? We have to see whether the textures will load in or not. Ready? Oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, they're not in. No. Oh, they loaded. Okay. That's everyone's favorite game.
Is that just because you're jumping through the water and it's faster than they expect you to move, or just the game not loading
No
properly?
idea. I think just the game didn't load. All right, so at the start of the next level, there's a frame-perfect audio skip, and it's actually a fun fact that it's physically impossible to miss this trick. So keep that in mind. It's just impossible to miss. What'd I say? Impossible to miss. Every try. Frame perfect. Oh, that was a big gamble, saying that.
I was gonna say, there's gotta be something here I'm missing. Frame perfect is usually pretty hard.
Yeah, so we have a setup to do it, and you can usually get it first try, but sometimes you don't. Yeah, so the way the audio skips work in this game is messages obviously play, and if we have a diary that we can manually play, if we manually play the message the same frame that a message starts on its own, it'll skip all of the messages for the rest of the level. So there's one at the start there, and I got it first try. So this cutscene might be really loud, but it might not be. Sometimes it's like deafeningly loud.
I know you.
Oh, it's not that bad this time.
That symbol on your hand marks you a dead man.
No, the trick is not guaranteed.
Since I watched you put a gun to your head.
It's frame perfect.
And pull the trigger. But take heart. Out of your pain, paradise was born.
Yeah, so there's a little cutscene here. We just can't do too much about it.
But your suffering is over now. These men will ease your burden. Please understand that like all I have done,
Everyone's just arguing about the BioShock games. I love it.
It's a surprisingly divisive thing, because like you know, I haven't played all of BioShock 2, but you know, even I've heard all the people be like, 1 is better than 2, 2 is, you know, really good, all that kind of stuff.
I think 1 is better than 2, but BioShock 1 is like one of like the games of the decade, right? So anything that follows up a game of the decade is probably not going to be as good. So people are just like, oh, it's not as good because it's not a game of the decade. But like BioShock 2 is still really good in its own right. So I think it gets a lot of heat because it had big shoes to fill.
Yeah, there's a really high bar it has to clear.
Oh, when I play this game, I usually have music playing, so not having any noise right now is just really weird. Oh no, Eleanor. No, I hate Eleanor. Everyone hates Eleanor. Her voice is so annoying. I'm gonna take my headset off. Oh my god, make it stop.
This plasmid is for you. If I'm right, you can use it now. Please, find me.
So, we have telekinesis. And the trick works the same way. The wall clipping trick works the same way as BioShock 1. We get on top of a splicer's head, we kill the splicer, and then we use the dead body to clip through the wall. So there's not going to be one of those for a while here, but basically, like I said earlier, the whole second half of the run, we stopped playing the game, and it's just all just messing around with dead bodies. That could be taken out of context. Please don't cancel me. All right. So there's a funny little trick, probably. Oh, I got a hat thing, mask. This is called a mask, English, by the way. So I'm not allowed to move right now, no matter how hard I smash my buttons. But if you drop a mask or a hat or something on your head, you can kind of move a little. And if we, where am I? That way. If we move towards the edge over here, we'll collide with a ceiling, or I guess it's a floor technically, and we'll fall through the bottom of the elevator and die and spawn and save a little time. It's not the biggest time save. Oh, that's perfect. It's not the biggest time save, but it looks pretty cool.
Swag shots. I mean, you got to go for them.
Yeah. There's also a small chance I spawn in like the Shadow Realm and get soft locked, but you know, you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah.
So now, I have stopped. I have a safety save just in case.
Okay, good. I was like, yeah, no, he got this.
Yeah, I thought about that a few days ago. I'm like, what if I don't get it? Is telekinesis the most important ability in the speedrun? I'd say yeah, just because the wall clipping, you need telekinesis to do the wall clipping. We don't use it actually for too much besides that. In BioShock 1, telekinesis was overpowered, and basically if like you threw anything at a splicer on easy, they'd die, but they gave it a good nerf in BioShock 2. BioShock Next Generations. So this is a wave fight. There's gonna be some splicers who jump out here. They can spawn on either side, you just gotta be ready. And easy fight. There's lots of explosive barrels to make it easy for you. Nice and calm level. So there's another audio skip at the start of this level. I'm not going to make any bold claims about it, because this one's harder, in my opinion.
Not feeling confident? I believe. No. I think you got it.
So I use that little radio in the bottom right to align it with the buttons in the background. And then as soon as I gain, I'm not allowed to quick save right now. As soon as I gain control, I save, I load it. See if I can get it. Oh, I'm so bad. There we go. Yeah, so again, the way that trick works is you manually play a message the same frame that a message starts on its own. And that'll skip the rest of the audio for the level. So normally there's audio and stuff playing, but we just have to sit here in silence.
And it like fast forwards all the triggers for the levels too, right?
Yeah. Mostly just because a lot of the doors and stuff need to wait for the dialogue. So if they get skipped right away, it's going to make all the doors and everything go much faster. Yeah, so BioShock, it's actually funny, the way the wall clips changed the runs. So for BioShock 1, before the wall clipping, we used 2 plasmids for the whole run and basically didn't touch anything else. But now for that game, we use a bunch of different plasmids. In BioShock 2, before the wall clips, we used a bunch of different plasmids. We used like 8 or 9 different plasmids in the run. It was wacky. But then, now after the wall clips, we actually use less plasmids. So they're about the same now, the 2 games, as far as plasmid usage. All right, there's a big daddy here. I'm gonna throw these barrels at him to make him angry. Oops. Nice. So now, basically, they took Proving Grounds, the Little Sister escort mission from BioShock 1, and they just made a sequel to that specific level, and that's BioShock 2. The gimmick of this game, if anyone's not familiar, is you're playing as a Big Daddy, so you can, like, escort the Little Sisters around and harvest bodies and stuff. However, there's a little trick we can do. So, as soon as this one starts, I'll jump up on a thing and explain it.
I genuinely thought you were about to throw the wrench in the air, just have it donk her in the head, and you'd be like, that's a skip.
Yeah, so the trick here, we have to do 2 of these gathers, and if you don't kill any enemies during the first one, no splicers will spawn in for the second one. So we just use Electrobolt from up here. They're all melee enemies, so they won't go for us up here. And we just zap them, and then they run away. Where are you? So some of the things the splicers yell are so funny. You'll get like a random quote that's not super common every now and then. It's good. There should be one more? No. All right. So this door on the right, it explodes on a look trigger, so I'm gonna wait until the thing is done and then look. Kill them. And I know I just said not to kill any of the splicers. I meant don't kill any of the splicers that are trying to get the sister. Those splicers I killed are separate from like the harvesting thing, so they're fine to kill. All right, here's the second one, and if I did it right, no splicers should spawn in. It doesn't save any time, but it's nice.
Just saves you having to do stuff.
Yeah, I don't like doing stuff, so this is a perfect skip for me. And now it's everyone's favorite song, How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? We can listen to. Oh, this is my jam. Gotta lower my health a little here. I like to clean up a little. It's really messy in here. So, we are, I know everyone is probably going to be upset about this. We are going to kill the sister. We have to. I'm sorry. We need the atom.
No.
It's a collective gasp from the audience. So I have this barrel here. There's splicers with weapons that can blow it up, and that would not be good, but it usually doesn't happen. There's backups in case it does get exploded. They don't usually run over there. I'll take it. You monster. Oh, did I heal? I wasn't supposed to heal. Gotta lower my health a little. When did I heal? I'm just not paying attention. How does the thing I always wanted to know is how does she know that we're about to kill her? Like the animation, like you just put the saving animation is putting your hand to her head. So how does she know she's about to die? That's what I want to know. I can use this thing here to lower my health. And then if we die in the corner here, it actually warps us back to the center of the area of the level. Rather than, there's actually a Vita chamber, the place where you spawn, in that room where I died. But for whatever reason, if you die in that corner, it brings you back here, which is good. That's Edna, that's Splicer. It's very important that I mention that.
Is it just not worth it to kill her, or do you use her for something later?
No, the other Splicer just yells at her and is like, "You break everything, Edna," whatever she says.
Dang it, Edna.
She's always messing everything up. But we love her, you know. So I'm gonna let this turret get me to 1 HP. And we're gonna do another death warp here in the 2 rooms from now. So there's a lot of noise and explosions going on behind me. I'm just gonna ignore it all, as every good speedrunner does. I quick save here because I'm at 1 health, and if we get bad spawns, I could die. Nope, looks like we got good spawns. So I want to die up here, and there's a locked door. This will just take us to the other side of the locked door, so we can leave the level. And now we look down, because if you don't look down, a big sister doesn't spawn where we need her to spawn. If you look down, the little big sister will spawn in this room with us and we'll kill her. Sinclair, he's my favorite.
You and me, kid, we're going places.
He has the best voice, and no one will convince me otherwise, in the BioShock series, that is.
So how did some of those death warps get found? Just because those seems like really specific places to die.
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, I'd say besides the wall clipping, most of this game, like, was already found. Like, the glitches and stuff were found before I started running, about 5 years ago. So, there's not too much for this game, though. Yeah, I don't know who found anything. I don't know anything. I don't know much. I just go fast and look good.
I mean, that's what counts. If you can execute.
Yeah. So if anyone's wondering, we actually are on world record pace right now. You get excited. Don't worry, I'll mess up one of the clips.
Be the first record on the show.
If I got record here, that would be amazing.
I like to think it's always possible.
This is a goddamn citywide lockdown. To keep the train
I guess I could do it. I have most of the clips done pretty well in my PB. We do a garden by here. And I remembered where everything went. Perfect.
Find her and get that key.
So we're about to get the drill dash ability. So you get it by researching these brute splicers, the big guys. Normally, the one that you just saw, he despawns. But we do a little trick to force him to not despawn, so we can skip the whole go get drill dash mission.
Wrong turn, Teddy Daddy. When we hang you from a street light and you choking out your last, I want you to remember my face.
Perfect, there he is. Yeah, so he's not supposed to be there.
That thing's a miracle in Technicolor, kid. Works like a movie camera. Start the film rolling before.
Alright, so now I get drill dash. I need to die right now. We're gonna spawn just over there, but dying actually lets us destroy the debris we're about to destroy a little sooner. And now drill dash, it's I think the biggest draw of running this game. Just drill dashing around is a lot of fun. Excuse me.
Now get back to the Sinclair Deluxe and just
Yeah, this is the movement that I remember. It's just screaming through the game.
And we combine it with drill dash or decoy to kind of open the doors, go a little faster. It's really fun, I think. I'm a little sad. So basically the entire run before the wall clips were found, the entire run was basically just drill dashing around. But now we don't do it as much in the second half because we just clip through walls.
just rev up that drill of yours and slam right through that pile of junk blocking your way. We can teach him how. Well, sport, I guess Gracie's home, but that big lug just...
Yeah, so you'll see me, for the next couple levels, you'll see me going into these Circus of Values machines to mostly buy drill fuel. I'll buy a little Eve, too, but mostly just drill fuel. And as you can see from this level, I'm using drill dash a lot. I think it's just interesting that we saw her there not talking, but we heard her on the speakers talking. So, unplayable.
To care for her child. And I tried. But baby Eleanor disappeared. And then one day...
Okay, so the thing about Grace, she's mad at us because she walked up to a big daddy and little sister, tried to grab the little sister, and then the big daddy hit her and broke her jaw. And she's mad at us for that. Like, you're trying to grab a little sister. What are you doing?
Yeah, it seems like she should have figured that out.
Yeah, I don't like her. We let her live, though. We're, I can't pick this up. We're a generous God.
You're a bigger man than I am, Chief. Maybe next time she'll think twice about...
I love the false sounds.
All the facts are in. Now, let's be on our way.
Pre-recorded? Yes, this is pre-recorded.
I know that Dr. Lamb is no liar, but she's got to be wrong.
It is not. For, just in case people actually think that. This is not pre-recorded.
I can't call off the family, but I can whisper a bit and improve.
That's exactly what someone who pre-recorded a video would say.
Exactly. The video is live. The chat is pre-recorded.
How would that, wait. Thinking.
It works if you don't think about it.
So this is the last level that we're going to play out normally. The rest of the levels after this one, 4 of the 5 have a wall clip, and the one that doesn't have a wall clip has another trick in it. that is newer. I think it's within the last year. It says about 2 minutes. So the first half of this game is more or less been the same. What is that spinning thing? What the? Yes, it's more or less been the same for a really long time, but the second half is completely different. And again, I'm going to jump through the water here because jumping is faster. You don't need, there's 3 sea slugs here that give 10 atom each. We don't need them. So, not gonna grab them. I could if I wanted to. Alright, so we're gonna do a few more drill dashes here. And then there's gonna be a fight in this room. Shut up, Eleanor. Please. Your voice hurts my ears. So I hacked that turret. He's on my side now. And a bunch of spider splicers are going to spawn in a second here. And I'm going to research them. The reason I research them is because if you research them enough, you will get a speed boost, which is good. I forgot to do this.
That's a concerning amount of mines.
Oh, 2 guys. All right, which one is going to be? Left or right? Left. Oh, that's the left one. It was the left one. We have a winner. So those first 2 die from the traps I put down. And the next couple are... I'm gonna freeze. That's...
I thought he was gonna break when he hit the ground.
Next bunch are gonna die from a turret here. That little message that popped up was a research message. Saying like you did some research or something. I don't know if I've ever read that, I'll be honest. Alright, so a few more can spawn in, but you don't have to kill them. I'm gonna do a little parkour and get out of bounds, and then we have to kill a brute splicer. Excuse me.
Oh, yep, okay.
So he'll spawn here in a second. Alright, so that's this fight. And now back to the old drill dash.
So the reason you're holding decoy is just to trick the doors into opening sooner?
Yeah.
Yeah, just to bring it up for people who weren't here earlier when you explained that.
Except for that one. I guess I missed. All the doors except for that one.
I promise I wasn't baiting that.
Yeah. Wow, stream, you just got lied to.
Yeah.
How do you feel? So I just got to kill some enemies here before the boss spawns. And the fastest way that we can kill them is just Winter Blast and whack them with the drill. I like this guy's hat. And then this level is basically over now. Well, not basically over. We still have to leave the level. We'll just be running around towards the exit now. I'm gonna death warp out of here. I'm kind of locked in here right now.
I don't have much air left, but I'll hang hang in there. You make sure you're ready before you throw that switch.
Is there ever an instance where you've like run out of Eve, then you like can't death warp out of something? You have like a backup for that?
Ooh. So you don't usually run out of Eve. It's really common to run out of drill fuel, so you just have to like walk of shame everywhere. But you don't usually run out of Eve. Although with the new wall clipping, some of them you need a lot of Eve to do, so it's not impossible to run out of Eve for these new tricks. I've never run out. I've been very close before. But it shouldn't be a problem as long as you're paying attention.
Ask yourself, Delta. You who have suffered beyond measure at the hands of men.
So we're in the water, but you can just take your drill out in there. Don't worry about it.
To end pain.
Now you can drill dash through the water.
Sin. What must we pay? Eleanor is my answer.
All right, so now Dionysus Park, the next level. We're gonna start wall clipping. So I'll keep everyone updated. Right now, we are 1 second ahead of world record. I will let everyone know how behind we are by the end of the run. Just know we are ahead right now.
I'm telling you, I believe.
Basically, my PB has all golds for these clips.
Oh yeah.
Come on up to the train station. Let's rendezvous.
So we gotta kill this Houdini splicer for this door to open. And now, just doing some drill dashes.
Attention. Subject Delta has trained and infiltrated Dionysus
Oops.
Park. His death is our rebirth. The life of the people's daughter.
So before the clips here, there was a very annoying audio skip you had to do after this door. But now, we don't have to do it, which is good, because I hated it. I hated it almost as much as I hate Eleanor.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was going to ask. Do you prefer the run, like, pre these clips being discovered or post?
So for BioShock 2, I like the run a lot better now. For BioShock 1, I think I preferred it a little more before, but it's still really fun.
Dionysus Park was my home.
Yeah, I think the BioShock 2 run is much more fun. Gonna do a collecting, make a quick save, and now, let's go.
First try. Telling you.
First try. So, same thing as BioShock 1, you walk on top of their heads, and then you kill them. Something interesting for BioShock 2, if you're on top of a splicer's or a dead body's head, and you make a save, it'll uncrouch you, so you have to load the save. So like you'll see saving and then loading right away. The bodies, whoops, not that. The bodies are much more difficult to control than in BioShock 1, so this is going to be a little harder to set up, but I know where I'm going. A little more. I'll try that. So we're gonna clip into that. Train, that's that word.
Yeah.
English, by the way.
You can just call it whatever. Nobody's going to correct you.
Oh, I actually did get it first try.
See? I'm telling you.
You have to wait a little bit. It's awkward, because after you hit the button, because you're not where the game thinks you are, it makes you wait. But yeah, what we did was we clipped into the train. And the way that works is when you're on top of the dead body, you don't actually have a hitbox. So we use telekinesis to move the body into a spot that lets us clip through walls and stuff. So that's that. That was pretty good, actually. Pretty happy with that. Maybe I won't be overestimate. So there's another one of these skips right now.
End of the line. If I'm right, Eleanor's mama's using Adam to force all rapture.
We're gonna wait for this splicer to walk over there.
Lamb reckons it'll make that child a saint. Now, Eleanor's in a deep, dark place beneath Fontaine.
Freeze him a bunch to keep him frozen.
We need to sneak in and find her.
Do a little parkour. Oh, that went very well. Very happy with that. That one, I will say this is the one that's the hardest to set up. So, got that one right away. Pretty happy. Oh, and I'm even on the body. Nice. So, it's harder to control the bodies with telekinesis, so we just move it around with the drill. Just bash the drill into the dead body over and over again, which looks kind of silly, but gets the job done. Oh, that was perfect. All right, so you may have noticed this is one of the airlocks that floods with water and goes to the outside. And you may have noticed that I'm taking the body into the airlock. I'm going to... This is, I think, the craziest looking skip in all of BioShock 1 and 2 is right here. Move. He's too close. No. No, I messed it up. All right, we can go back to the save. Oh, that would have been sick. So this body can't be touching that door or else it won't work. So we got to kind of maneuver him as close as possible without actually touching.
Ooh.
Try to get him to move away a little, but I'm going to save, learn from last time. That might work. So you have to be obnoxiously close to this lever to actually activate it. So the body needs to be in a kind of precise spot. All right. I don't think that's too close. It should work. And we're good. So this is wacky. Get ready. Oh, never mind. Try that again here. Oh no. Oops. So yeah, like I said, this is definitely the hardest one to do. And I am floating up. This is interesting. There we go. I'll try not to mess this one up. There we go. Uh-oh, I might have messed it up. Oh no, I think I messed up. Oh no, we're good. False alarm, everybody. Whew.
So you just use him as a surfboard, basically?
Basically. And now go through here. Gonna save again. And because we're outside, I'm just gonna throw the body to the end of the level. That's more or less what's going on here. Well, this throw is a little difficult and a little precise, so this might take a few tries. Actually, that looked decent. Ah, I'm so good at this game. All right, and then we're gonna throw it over here. And this is the end of the level.
So how much does that skip?
That one saves 4 minutes.
Dang.
Although the one I just did only saved 5 minutes. Only 5 minute time
Only
save.
5.
So you're gonna see me save loading a lot right here, and that's because I'm going to be skipping all of these messages individually. You saw earlier I was doing those frame perfect audio skips to try to skip them, but we just do it one by one here. Auto hack this so I get lower prices. Buy up Eve, buy up drill fuel, and I am out of money. That's fine. Here I'm going to get rid of Incinerate, we don't need it anymore, and I will need Electrobolt for the final fight. Well, I call it the final fight, it's the second to last level. We skip basically all of the last level. It saves 9 minutes, the clip on the last level, which is kind of crazy. The one clip on the last level saves more time than all of the clips in BioShock 1 combined.
Yeah,
which is kind of cool.
Is it one of those, like, you know, the clip was theorized for a long time, like, oh, if we could find a way to do X, you know? Or was it not even thought of that way?
Yeah, I think just, like, wall clips have never just been a thing. No one's really thought about it. So normally there's a mission here where you have to collect a bunch of these roses. But if you pick it up with scroll wheel, it'll actually give you all of the copies of the plant you need. So there's a huge area over there, there's a huge area over there, but I'm having none of it. I'm not interested.
Do you use a free scroll wheel or just a normal mouse?
Just normal mouse. You just gotta, like, put a little oomph into it.
Yeah.
So this is a fight. I don't have a lot of ammo. So I will be using the machine gun a little instead of the rocket launcher. I see you. The Big Daddy was over there to the right. I gotta get him. Alright, so there's one more splicer and one more Big Daddy. Looks like the splicer's up there, and then we gotta see where the Daddy will spawn. That's a Houdini splicer. We don't actually need to kill her. Oh, I'm a little low on ammo. Hello, friend. I'll just finish him off with the drill. All right, and that's that level. Yeah, so normally just the whole, we skip the majority of this level. Also, this key is not supposed to be here. There's a funny thing that happens when you do the wall clip glitch. That key is just up for some reason. We can't grab it, but in a second here, you'll see a second key come up out of the slot. And then you can grab it. I don't know why that happens. It's just a little funny thing.
Little free key.
Oh, oops. All right, so this level is basically over now. All right, so the next level, it's called Outer Persephone, but if you look at my splits, which I know you can't see right now, the level is called Suffering. If that gives you any hint about the clip on the level. And you'll see why it's called that. This one is actually going really well.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I'm behind, but
it like, you know, obviously I haven't watched that many of these runs, but nothing seems like it's going horribly so far.
Yeah, besides that one thing at the start of the last level, getting on top of the body, or the, I had to restart there a little bit. I'm actually only 50 seconds behind record right now.
That's pretty good.
I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, and this is poetic. My PB, there's 50 seconds between my PB and my gold for this level. That's poetic.
Her mama's got all rapture, dying to keep you two apart.
All right, so this level, little drill dashing at the start. We're gonna fight two big sisters, and then we're gonna try to clip through the wall. Easy.
Easy.
Quote me. You can quote me.
Mark it right here.
Yeah. Easy, KPC, 2021. Shut up, Eleanor. Thank you.
Poor girl.
Do you know
She
why
deserves
you are
it.
here? Have you any idea what my daughter has given you? As I watch you now, I envy your ignorance.
All right, so I'm not Joe dashing here because this little thing is on a timer. This door, this lever, that's not a door. This is called a lever, kids.
Words can be what we want them to be.
How will she remember us?
Yeah, words are more art than science.
Yeah.
I have placed my pieces on the board.
So there's a bunch of these explosive canisters here.
Is this what she hoped for?
I'm gonna move them all over here because this is where the sisters jump down.
Yet still we are blind. Goodbye,
I'm
Subject
gonna
Delta.
use this machine here.
Take heart.
Just get full everything. Why not?
At least have escaped.
This is on a timer, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm not skipping this. So as the second one jumps down, it's a nice little thing. I think that one's dead. All right, so you may have noticed I left that one alive.
I was wondering if you were gonna do that with a big sister.
Yep. But the fun part about this one, actually, is that you can't move the sisters' bodies with telekinesis. So we have to not have fun here. Now we're gonna get it first try.
Yeah.
It's always first try.
Pre-recorded.
This is a spliced video. So you can't move the body with telekinesis, but you can whack it with the drill to move it, although it's heavier. So I'm gonna move it to the base of the stairs here. I can't whack it up the stairs. But this is being difficult. Come on. Good enough. Where am I? All right, so now I'm gonna use this medical cart over here to like rake the, that's not a medical cart. That's not a medical cart either. Oh my God, give me the thing. It's right there. I see you. Come on. Come on. Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh, there we go. I was trying to hit it with something. That worked. All right, so now that it's over here, I'm going to, this is horrible. I'm gonna use this to like push the body while I'm on top of it. Try to get up the stairs. Nah, I fell off. Oh, yep, no.
This is great to watch.
Yeah. What the? That was interesting. This usually isn't too bad, although it can go very wrong. That way. How did I do that? I'm trying to go up the stairs. I'm like flying through the air. I'm like literally entering the stratosphere. This is being difficult right now. So normally this isn't the difficult part. Oh, come on. Come on, we're right there. Come on, please, please, please. First try.
Easy.
I should gonna save. So now we just need to move the body a little closer to the door, which I will happily do with the drill. I don't like those medical carts. And if anyone was wondering, this does save a ridiculous amount of time, so you kind of have to do it. That looks really good, actually. You need to have a specific orientation for this one. And we got it right away, which is nice. As soon as this gets up here, I'll save and do the trick. All right, let's go. First try. I'm feeling a first try.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else is.
Oh yeah.
Kind of gotta wait for it to get how you want it to be, and then, dang it. All right, we can edit that out, right?
Oh yeah. I got you.
So you can see I'm kind of in the wall here. We just gotta go all the way through it. No. Let's try once from over here. Nope. So I'll give this a few more tries and then I'll move the sister's body a little bit. Yeah, it's all about how the trick for this one is all about how the medical cart like catches the sister's body. There we go.
Nice.
And I don't know if you saw right there, the sister's body actually goes through the wall too, which is kind of funny. All right, so there's one last audio skip right at the start of this level. And it's one of the ones where you hit the message the same frame as it starts playing on its own. But we have a setup, so I'll try to do it first try.
Upstairs.
Dang it. Second try, not bad, I guess. All right, so this level normally has 3 huge areas with fights, and you have to like do all the fights, go through the area, do the objective, but the door to leave the level is like right there. That's the door to leave the level. So if everyone's been paying attention for the past hour and a half, 2 hours, we're just gonna clip through it.
I assume it's just find a friend and then leave.
Yep. This guy's doing something. What are you doing? He'll come over here eventually. I think I'll need to move again. Yeah. Come on, a little closer. Come on. Come on, a little closer. So he's being difficult today.
He's being a real jerk.
Yeah. So I have different setups depending on what side he's on. There we go. So now, definitely save. We want to save. So let's see. Sometimes he just spins endlessly. Let's see if he does. My game crashed.
No.
That's fine. That's fine. We just made a save. We literally are on the save. All right, so let's see. I think the quick save went through. We should be on top of the guy's head, and he should start spinning. Yep, all right, we're good. Is he doing the spins? All right, he's doing the spins. I don't think I'm crouched. Yeah, so he likes to just spin in a circle here. That's like his gimmick. Whoa, that guy. All right, so we're gonna use this grenade launcher. You can move the body by hitting him with the drill, but it's a little faster to move it with the grenade launcher, so I'm just gonna shoot some grenades off. It's too far, I think. Shoot some grenades. And that didn't work. All right. Oh no, I'm in the wall. That's why you save, kids. Yeah, so that's the door to end the run. And I will just say, as I'm finishing up here, if anyone wants to learn these games, there's guides for all of the new tricks. We have a speedrunning Discord. There's a video for BioShock 1. There's a text guide for BioShock 2 that I put a decent amount of work into. Everyone's super friendly over there. So if you want to learn these games, we're more than willing to help you learn them. I think they're pretty fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, could you make a BioShock Discord invite?
That's time. Yeah, sure, I can send that to you in a sec. But yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, it was a really good set of runs. I love seeing all those new clips. They're so funny. So yeah, I will as soon as I get that, I'll post that in chat. If you're interested in learning any of the BioShock games, check it out. I've been in the Discord for a while. I learned BioShock 1 and BioShock Infinite from talking to people there and from doing tutorials there. So it definitely, I can vouch for it being a really welcoming community and really helpful to teach everyone. A couple announcements before we go to break. Frost Fatale's game and volunteer submissions are open now until November 14th. Go to gamesdogquick.com for more information. If you missed out on any hotfix shows, like the 2 runs we just had of BioShock 1 and 2 or the Ender Lilies run from earlier, check out the archive at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to check us out at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick for our live shows, most nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. And before we go to break, GDQ just launched a Sum of Best segments on YouTube, which is a highlight channel with regular videos like the main channel, but it's smaller highlight reels for main events and hotfix shows. So some of the interesting things from this run are going to be in there. And hotfix is funded in part thanks to subscriptions and bits from viewers. So if you enjoy the show, please consider subscribing to help support future broadcasts, or if you just want to hear the really cool music on the break screen. So
follow me.
Yeah, thank you again, KPC. All right, welcome back, everyone. So final run of the night, we've got Blood Thunder, an absolutely ridiculous prolific runner. BT does a ton of runs. He's really good at all of them. I ran a few things with him for a while, and his skill is absolutely off the charts. So I'm really glad we got him here to showcase BioShock Infinite. So take it away.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Shout outs to KPC for doing awesome runs on those first 2 games. I've been relearning those runs in preparation of doing just more BioShock content in general, and he made those look really, really easy, especially the BioShock 2 one. So if you like those runs, give him a follow, because he's a beast. But this run's going to be a little different. We don't have those wall clips. We do have some other wall clips and a whole bunch of other shenanigans. So much like the setting's very different, we're no longer in Rapture, which we'll talk about. So much time to talk about stuff. The run is also filled with a whole bunch of different tricks, which are really cool. And we'll hop into the game here. Fun fact about this little intro, we will be running through this part of the game here in just a moment. The run is done on easy for various reasons. We have a lot of time to talk about all this stuff, so I hope you guys like some lore dumps. We'll, see how Amy's day is going so far, all that good stuff. And time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So this stuff here is just saying I have like the DLCs and the extra stuff, which provide items that the run will use once we get past the first couple levels here. But we're going to start off Infinite, taking a little boat ride out to a lighthouse so that we can go down into Rapture. I mean, up into the sky into Columbia, which is always a fun time. People either love this game, or they despise it with a passion. So I'm sure in chat we'll see both of those fronts. But if you guys don't know me, I'm Blood Thunder. I run BioShock Infinite. I run the entire BioShock series, including the DLCs. You might have seen Wolfenstein, Dishonored, Penumbra, a whole bunch of different games over past GDQs. So might be a familiar face to some of you. If not, then, you know, nice to meet you. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Hope you had a great Halloween. Got plenty of candy, all that fun stuff, you know? The two in the boat with us are the Lutece twins that we don't know about yet, but they become very important to the story later on. While we just sit here and do nothing, they do all the work. It's great. That's how I like my speedruns, doing no work at all.
No time loss.
You also might notice a little icon in the top left corner of the screen, a little hat icon with a plus. That means we are running the Hill Runners hat mod, which is a community-allowed modification for the game that's going to give us a certain item later on, because otherwise it becomes a grind fest. You go 30 minutes into the run, then you grind out for a 1 in 52 drop, and that can take like 30 minutes alone to grind out. So instead of going through all that madness, we just we use this to bypass that and make the run so much more fun, because the Hill Runners hat is very, very important. So this is Lighthouse. A big thing you'll notice compared to BioShock 1 and 2, we can actually just sprint in this game. We don't have to walk around or drill dash, which is really nice. Booker is a little fast. I'm just gonna run all the way up here, put in our little door code. 122. And then the lighthouse is gonna start freaking out. We got a little wait time here, you know? Can look out at this beautiful view. I don't know what cities those are supposed to be over there, but, you know. Definitely not waking them up at all. Definitely not.
Yeah, I'm always surprised that nobody ever sees this as like, huh, that's kind of weird. Check that out.
Yeah, everyone's just staying inside. They're like, nah, that just happens every now and then, you know? So this magical lighthouse is just going to open up for us and has a nice comfy chair. So once again, we just want to sit back and not really do a whole lot in this run. So we're just going to hop on in. One on up. Much like the intro to BioShock 1 is very iconic for certain people, the intro for this one, and this scene in particular, is very iconic as well. Kind of a mirror image of the first game.
Ascension in the count of 5. Count of 4. 3.
I always wondered why it tips you down at the beginning to make you lose your pistol. Like, yeah, to make you lose your pistol, but it seems like a bad idea to tip it down.
I think the technical explanation is that the rockets suck the air out, so it gets depressurized. I think, but I'm not a rocket scientist, so.
You know what? I'll believe that.
You know what? I am a rocket scientist. Let's just all believe that. Yeah, this is the city of Columbia. It is a city in the sky. Ridiculous, I know. Taking our little trip down. Everything's so peaceful. How could anything ever go wrong here? Yeah, Columbia is just a bunch of floating platforms that kind of interweave and connect up in different ways. So it's kind of amazing we ever get where we need to go in this run. Things just line up perfectly for us to get there, despite not knowing how the stuff moves around at all. And as terrifying as Rapture is as a city, like if something goes wrong, it's just a nightmare for Rapture because it's under the water and all those people suffer. If one of the buildings or floating islands fall in Columbia, it's bad news for everybody. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I wonder what they're like. Obviously, they did not think very much about it, but what was their plan if they ever had a building start to fall?
Just let it go at this point. See, people are asking in the pre-recorded chat if I can see chat. I can. I saw it ahead of time when it was pre-recorded. Oh wait, I'm probably not supposed to talk about that. Or about how I'm using an aimbot. Oh no. Oh no, I messed up.
It's fine. I slipped you the good aimbot, so people will be very impressed.
Yeah, I saw you gave KPC the bad one, so
yeah,
I was kind of worried. It's got a nice little introduction into Colombia here. We're just gonna start running. You might see me jump from time to time. If you're in like water or something, it's a little faster to jump. It's not really worth it, but when you're used to just running through a map a whole bunch, running forward can get a little boring. So I just like to add in some jumps every now and then. Also run a lot of games that have bunny hops, so sometimes I like to pretend like I'm bunny hopping and going faster.
Is it someone new? Someone from the southern below?
So we're about to get baptized. He's going to wash away our sins. The whole premise and setup of this game is that Booker has gotten himself into a lot of gambling debt, and in order to wipe away that debt, he is sent on this task to Colombia to get a girl and bring it back to whoever he owes the debt to. So the saying is, bring us the girl, wipe away the debt. So we're coming here to look for her and then get out afterwards. I'd say if you want to remain spoiler free, we skip some, but not all spoilers in this. So yeah, a little worry. Also, he's just completely drawn us here. And every now and then we get these little flashbacks in Booker's head. Like this one. This is his office. This is someone to collect the debts. Just kind of reestablishing the fact that you owe money. So now we are in Colombia proper. We can run around and do all of this fun stuff and possibly do some skips here. Just gonna run past all these guys. So you may have heard me mention it at the very start, right before we actually began the run, that we're gonna run through the main menu part, and that's actually right up here if you've never been aware of that. So that street right there where that little pig is on the corner is where the game menu begins, which is kind of a cool little Easter egg if you're paying attention to it. You can do a couple jumps to just get through this map a little faster. So yeah, this street right here is the main menu. You can see the kids playing in the water, as they do. Grab some snacks. And when I try to do a little wall clip, this one's a little tricky. Let's see. So if you have high enough FPS, you can kind of like just scooch your way through certain walls and collision. So the game's nice to us. This is probably the hardest one to do. We get past the parade early and can just run on.
Columbia Raffle and Fair.
Why you're able to just walk through wall or like slide through walls essentially, I don't know, but it's really nice. Yeah, this game unfortunately does have some high FPS requirements for the speedrun. There's a trick later on that requires about 350, and it's hard for a lot of runners to get up that high, even on lowest settings and with a beefy PC. We'll see how things go.
I don't think I ever learned any of the like super high FPS tricks when I was learning this run.
Yeah, there's like alternatives for a lot of them, and they don't save a whole bunch of time, but they are nice to do.
Yeah.
Also, this is the best salesman in the world. He's just so much fun to listen to. He's so believable. Okay, so we're gonna do what is known as the raffle skip. The raffle's where everything kind of takes a dark turn and you realize this place is not paradise, as it kind of claims to be. But we're not gonna go over there, so we're not gonna ever see that. So let's jump on some stuff and out of bounds we are. This game does have some crazy stuff. It's not the same as BioShock 1 and 2, but if you thought this was going to be dev intended, you were mistaken. Yeah, that skips the entire raffle section. There's a lot of like references and callbacks to that part, but it just won't make sense because we never went there. A little fireworks show. Now we're going into the blue ribbon, which because we have DLC installed and like a pre-order bonus or something, I don't remember exactly what it comes from. We get all of this special stuff here. So we get a whole bunch of infusions, which are going to give us salts. You can either pick health, shields, or salt whenever you get one of these. We just get kind of buffed up here at the beginning. Salt is by far the most useful. It's the only one we're going to pick up. We're going to get some money and 2 gear. We're going to get Fleet Feet and Sugar Rush. Those are going to help us run faster. Sugar Rush, anytime we eat or drink like a snack, like a hot dog or something, we get a little speed boost. And Fleet Feet, you know, honestly, I don't even remember what it does. It's been a while since I've read it. It is something useful. Also, we never went to the raffle, so we never got the skyhook, but the game's just like, all right, you went past the raffle, here you go. You can have it now, which is kind of useful. Otherwise, we'd get soft locked. So you do need it later on.
Yeah. And the reason you're wiggling your mouse around when you're on the skyhooks is just because it's so you can hook shot to the next one faster.
Yeah, it's something I never remember to talk about because it's just second nature at this point. Anytime you get on a hook or a skyline, there's a brief moment where you kind of like shake on top of it as the game's like telling you that you've hit it. It's kind of a weird thing to do. But if you wiggle your mouse before you actually land on top of it, you can like jump off right away. It just kind of skips like a stun animation essentially.
It's surprisingly noticeable too. Like it's not an insignificant thing.
Yeah, if I don't wiggle my mouse just subconsciously and it happens, then I'm like, oh wow, I actually just messed that up there. So we're just running through some maps. We're gonna pick up another salt infusion here. The reason we don't want health or shields because they're actually gonna hurt us if we pick them up. We are gonna do some death warps later. We want to actually die, and so having shields or health, it just makes that take longer and harder to set up. And salt is what powers our infusions. Not like Eve in BioShock 1 and 2. It's completely different. It's, you know, nothing like that at all. It's salt.
Why do you do this? I just want to go back to my family.
Yeah, it's really useful to have a ton of salt here because we're going to use infusions all over the place. It's a real struggle not to call them plasmids. But, you know, sometimes I remember. Psychro likes to spawn behind you. You just set it up so he dies whenever he tries to sneak attack you. And we're going to leave Murder Crows there. Because anytime you pick up a... Here, I can show off the... Oh, I still keep flicking my mouse. Let's see. There's just like a small little stun animation. Anytime you pick up an infusion, there's a little cutscene explaining what it is and how to use it. If you pick it up the second or any other time it presents it to you, then it doesn't matter. You just pick it up and you have it. So we will get Murder of Crows later on. It's not super useful, but it's still something. Sky rails are fast to be on, but it's even faster if you can just like jump to one far away and not fall off. So even though we're like zooming around on these bad boys, if you can shortcut parts of it, it's usually better too. There's a kind of tricky trick here. Requires precise timing with this cargo. We did not get it. Okay. So if you time that just right, you kind of get stuck in the cargo box, and it boosts you all the way up here, and you can get on the ship before it comes in, which is kind of cool, but not the biggest time save. We can just go around. So these zoom real fast.
Yeah, that was always
the whole
one of the
objective
hardest tricks for me to learn.
Yeah, that one. You have to really get that timing down, and if you're not super in practice, it can be quite tricky. The whole objective at the moment is to, once again, find the girl, and she is in the Monument Island, or the Monument Tower. So we're just making our way through Columbia over there. This is the Prophet. This is Comstock. He is Elizabeth, the girl's dad. He does not like us being here. He's supposed to be a prophet and see into the future, and he's like, you're bad news. So I'm going to send people to kill you. All these people that could kill me, but they won't. So we're going to get on the ship here in just a second and throw some traps over there. A little early. Let's throw one more. This isn't a super useful trick, or it makes things too much faster, but it can help.
As blood as yours. Do you know why these men will die for me? Because I have seen their future in the glory, and hence they are content. What brought you to Columbia, Booker? Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt?
A fun fact about this little Zeppelin, this is actually a cutscene that you can replace in the files. So if you just like want to throw something random there, a lot of people have done it. I've seen like the Friends intro be placed on top of this. A whole bunch of fun stuff you can do. Yeah, when you're running a game a whole bunch and you got to sit through a little elevator ride, you have a little fun with the game every now and then.
Knowing your history with it, I'm surprised you didn't do that.
I thought about it, but I just didn't feel like doing it.
That's fair.
You do it too many times, and people get a little bored.
People start expecting it. You gotta mix it up.
Okay, I'm sure I can get this thing going.
The Lord forgives everything. But I'm just a prophet. So I don't have to. Amen.
I love almonds. Almonds are so good. All right, let's keep on running through. The Zeppelin's getting destroyed, and we're just gonna bail on out. A fun fact about these sky rails, if you've never paid attention, if you look at them, you actually just see through them. It's like a little game design thing. You would never notice unless you were specifically looking for it.
Huh.
I don't think you're supposed to be able to see through those, but it's a nice little touch.
Monument Island.
All right, made it to the island. We need to climb the tower. Unfortunately, this whole place is under quarantine, which, I don't know anything about quarantine, but it sounds really bad. Get some beans. It might look like I'm just stopping to loot like random stuff, but all of these beans and stuff along the way, they give me the sugar rush effect, so we get a little speed boost every time I do that. So even if you don't find like a random trash can full of hot dogs and whatever, it's still worth checking just to see if you get a little speed boost. If you haven't been able to tell past the BioShock 1 and BioShock 2 run, BioShock series love their elevators. There are so many elevators. It is quite ridiculous. But once we go in here, we can grab some snacks, watch a little movie, some popcorn and coffee. Now we have found the girl.
That's her.
So, game over. You did it, right?
Yep, that's
Easy.
it. That's all it takes. Is this the part of the pre-recorded chat where everyone uses their Prime Gaming? I see one did it. I thought that was going to happen in like 5 minutes from now, but it's starting early, Cool. So we actually get two little cutscenes of Elizabeth here. She just happens to be running to the right place at the right time. I always love the drawings of Songbird here in the background.
Whoa.
This is the gaming's biggest plot hole, literally.
But that she just doesn't leave.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't leave, but also the fact that she can open a rift inside the tower where she's supposed to be at her weakest, yet can't do it when she's outside the tower. It's really weird. I know a lot of people love this story and the twists that come near the end, but there are a lot of problems with it, I'm just going to say. If you think about it, and any story that really has the mechanics and of the twists that this does without giving it away, will have those problems, obviously.
I can do this.
Hey, we're going to just keep climbing. And we'll get our first little interaction with Elizabeth proper.
Hey! Knock it off! You stop it! Will you stop it? I'm not here to hurt you.
Who are you?
My name is DeWitt. I'm a friend. I come to get you out of
Get
here.
away!
To answer Squid's question in chat about the infusions we pick up along the way, there is one that we have to pick up out of necessity on the first go, which will be Shock Jockey.
You've gotta go.
It's really hard to keep track of what they're called in each game. Because even between BioShock 1 and 2, things change names in terms of plasmids. Like, you have Target Dummy that becomes Decoy. It's just a whole mess. But yes, Shock Jockey we do have to pick up on the first go. Just that's how the progression goes. It's very reminiscent of the splicer surfing KPC did. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to kill Elizabeth, so we can take her body and clip through walls. Maybe one day. All right, well, we saved Elizabeth, but now we need to escape because she has a pet bird that really doesn't like us being here. His name is Songbird. He's a cutie. He's also really loud. So we find out later that this tower is a siphon for Elizabeth's magic powers that we saw her use to open a portal to Paris. So it's not really a great thing that Songbird himself is attacking the thing, keeping her contained, both literally and, I guess, also literally.
All this time. Why?
Yeah, this is the part where Elizabeth finds out she's been watched her whole life, which is honestly pretty creepy.
You're the girl who's getting out of this tower.
There he is.
Big metal friend.
Oh yeah, who doesn't want a big metal friend? Like maybe if your dad was like a giant metal creature, that'd be pretty cool. Also, this is the best song in all of gaming. It's called the Bonk Bonk song. It just goes bonk 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 bonk. Every runner loves this track so much. So our plan at the moment is to run to the very top of the tower, which seems like a really bad plan because there's just no escape once you get up there. But, you know, Booker is not a very smart man, as you come to realize over time. Whee! And this part is literally on rails, so we just sit back and listen to the great song.
I like that during this part, canonically, he's like strong enough to hold on to this, 50-mile-an-hour rail with one hand and Elizabeth with the other.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big problem lore-wise with the skyhook of, like, not ripping your shoulder off completely.
Yeah.
Anytime you jump on and off, I don't know. Video games, right?
Exactly, video games.
Just gonna survive a nice little dive into the water. However, Songbird cannot. The DLC is easy / fun to speedrun. It depends on the DLC. No one speedruns the, I don't even remember, it's called Battle Clash in the Clouds. It's like an Arena Fighter DLC. But Barrel at Sea 1 and 2, the like prequels DLC to this, back in Rapture, have some moments. There's also a very long cutscene in Barrel at Sea Part 2. I think Barrel at Sea Part 2 is a 45-ish minute run with 30 minutes of cutscenes.
Nice.
So it was a good one to throw in there. So somehow we survived. Ignore Elizabeth just kind of glitching in and out here. She likes to do that.
It's me, Elizabeth. You all right?
Where am I?
Back in the land of the living.
So that's basically the entire intro to the speedrun. This is where things get a whole lot more fun. I mentioned at the beginning about the Hill Runner's hat that we need to collect. We're going to pick that up in this part of the game. And then we can start zooming around.
You go on. I just see that.
Okay, I won't be long. I won't be long, Mr. DeWitt.
And she never came back.
Where is she?
We're on this lovely beach and we just gotta run away, grab a candy bar for fun.
Blue skirt? No. Airship.
Luckily, Elizabeth isn't too far away. We don't have to go multiple maps to find her, just next section over here. And she's having fun dancing. You know? Whenever you break out of jail, the first thing you want to do is dance.
Hey, Miss Elizabeth.
Pretty iconic scene, all things considered.
Oh, yeah.
I don't dance. Come on, let's go.
I just like looking at the people in the background clapping.
Yeah.
How about Paris?
Paris? I don't understand. How could we get there?
That's where that airship's going, but if you want to stay...
This is where Booker tricks Elizabeth into following. It's like, oh yeah, I'll help you get to Paris. That's definitely what I came here to do. Knowing that he wants to take her back to New York so that he can clear his gambling debt. He's a great man.
Mr. DeWitt, Comstock. I've read about him.
It's coming up as a pretty nice skip. It's not huge in terms of time saves, but it's going to get us past the first Lutece interaction here, where you choose either the
Mr. DeWitt, here. Come look
bird necklace or the cage.
Or perhaps the bird.
Nothing beats the cage.
Going to, hopefully, hit this at the right spot. It's a little bit tricky. There we go. Hitting that just the right corner pushes us up on top, and then we can just run past.
Yeah, that jump is so hard.
It's
tried that for
definitely
like an
one.
hour.
Yeah, a lot of new runners struggle with that one. Because you have to hit it kind of in, like, not on the corner, but to the side, and it's an awkward thing to learn, but really isn't too bad.
Did you learn to pick locks?
And once we get past that, we're gonna run up here, and this is normally where you would grind out for the Hill Runner's hats, but because we are using that handy dandy Hill Runner's hat mod, we just get to pick it up right here for free. And this means anytime we break our shield, which is that yellow bar in the top left of the game, that we get a huge speed buff, and it really breaks the game. Do a little manipulation with the coin to get Elizabeth over here faster.
Annabelle, it's me, Esther. Oh,
There's not much manipulating Elizabeth in the run. There used to be. Way back in the day, you had to position her just right. Aiming down sights with your gun can move her around, and she'll always like try to spawn behind you if you run too far. You can kind of pull her in different directions depending on what you're doing.
Watch out! I just swapped that.
Other than that, we're just gonna run up top.
Have you got sauerkraut?
Try to get us some tickets to the First Lady.
2 tickets for passage to the First Lady airship.
Yeah,
One question always comes up in this game because there's a few options that you're presented with throughout the game. There's like 3 or 4 different sections where it's giving you a 50-50 you can take, and the choices do not matter. Some are just a little bit faster depending on animations playing out or dialogue. So right there, we just pull out our gun instead of waiting for him to stab us. The end result's always going to be the same. There's only one ending to this game. So we get some supplies. Elizabeth now sees us as a monster. So we killed some people trying to take her back. So she's not too happy. These guards are really nice. They'll break my shield for me. We'll get a nice yellow break. There we go. So that means the Hellrunner's hat's taken effect. Get a little speed boost for like 5 seconds or so. And that can actually stack with the Sugar Rush that we picked up way back in the Blue Ribbon. So if you break your shield and you also grab a snack at the same time, you go really, really fast. It's kind of rare for it to happen in the run, just with how things line up, but anytime you get to pull that off, for like a couple seconds, you're just the Flash. It's running all over the place. So you're gonna notice Elizabeth has some boxes on her hands, because we did that loot test skip with the bird and cage necklaces. She just never gave the boxes back. And so she just kind of steals them.
I don't know. One thing I've learned. If you don't draw first, you don't get to draw at all.
The Hellrunner's Hat mod is that we are guaranteed to get the Hellrunner's Hat at that box. Otherwise, it's a 1 in 52 drop. And to reset that area, it's about 30 seconds per check if you wanted to just grind it out normally. So back in the day, you used to run up to that point, about 30 minutes into the run, and then just grind that out until you got Hellrunner's Hat. And you can legitimately be there for like 30 minutes trying to get it, which is not fun for anybody. And just killed off the run and the community pretty much. So for a funner, more consistent run, that's allowed by the community, which is really cool. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely, I really liked the addition of the HRH mod, because I learned the game both before and after the mod was introduced, and before it was awful. Just,
yeah,
if you
the run has
like
a lot of
third or fourth try, you were like, well, whatever.
Yeah, the run has a lot of really cool tech that revolves heavily on the Hellrunner's Hat being a thing. So to like do the run and not get it for 20 minutes at a time, it gets really sad and depressing. You're like, well, I can't keep going because I need this. There's not another place I can check for it. But yeah, now we're in Soldier's Field. Very close to the First Lady, but in order to get there, we have to go up this rail. So we need to turn the power back on, which means we need Shock Jockey.
Should we head to the gondola?
Okay, I don't know how I didn't fall off there. But we can do a fun little trick where we get to pretend to be Spider-Man.
No doubt for lockpicking lessons.
Why you?
We can just climb this wall. This wall's at like not a straight angle, it's like slightly tilted. And because of high FPS, you can kind of just like jitter climb the whole way up. It's really weird, but also really cool. So now we're way up in the sky. I mean, we were already way up in the sky in Colombia, but even further up. Drop down.
I'm a independent contractor.
So I'm trying to fall into the next section. There's usually an elevator cutscene that you go through. We got past the first try, so that's Bucking Bronco. We'll get on the way back. Once again, if we pick it up now, we get a cutscene. We don't want that. We just want to get a little quad feed. Yeah, first try there is nice. First try on anything in this game's pretty nice.
Yeah,
we'll take
that skip is like almost semi-blind. Because you have to line up, and then from what I remember, you have to like turn partway through it. Well, you can't see
you run
anything.
off, and then like at a certain point in time, you turn left a little bit, and then you're good. It's another one of those like, at first it's kind of tricky to know the angle, but once you've done it enough times, it's not terribly bad. So here we get Murder of Crows, skip the cutscene. That was a pretty good fight. The crows are kind of obnoxious to fight from time to time. Also, with these levers, they usually require all of the enemies in the area to be dead. Sometimes the turrets count, sometimes they don't. This one, it doesn't. I think only in one spot it actually counts a turret as an enemy to progress further. We're going up to Hall of Heroes, which is the hardest section of the game. We're also going to pick up the RPG, which is really, really nice for the run, because at the moment in time, we don't really have a way to damage ourselves consistently, which means we can't break our shield and get Hill Runner's hat boost, but now we can. So if we just shoot the ground, we break our shield and get a little speed boost. Have 6 shots. We want to do some death warps. And the way this game works, and it's kind of the same in the first game too, if you get down to 1 HP, you have some invincibility frames for a moment. And then after that, you can die. So you have to kind of time it up. This is the hardest death warp that we have to do. Let's see if that works. So we're just launching our dead body far enough into the next part of the game to hit a trigger that says, oh, this door should be open at this point in time. You get first try on that. That's so good.
Nice.
I can't even explain how difficult that is compared to everything else in this run.
Yeah, Hall of Heroes has like 3 or 4 of those death warps, and
yes.
each one of them is like you have to get really lucky with how far the HRH boosted death warp will throw you into the room.
Yeah, the first one you have to go really far for it to work. The second one you don't want to go too far, but you still have to get through the wall. If you go too far, you soft lock, so you don't sprint past this one. Luckily there's health here. And then the third one you have to do is much like the first, where you just fling yourself really far, but you don't. If you can do the first one, you can do the third one, is how it goes. That might be too far. So going too far here, like doesn't spawn in certain enemies, we'll double check. I think if you see the text at the bottom, it's too far. And then we soft lock in the end. Yeah, there's no enemies here, okay. Got the hardest one, can't get the easiest. That's how speedrunning usually goes. But there's also just a checkpoint here, which is really, really nice. The whole Hall of Heroes is supposed to be a whole bunch of fights that you do to just continue onwards. This game is very linear in that nature. It's just do a fight, progress, do a fight, progress. Should be good on that attempt. Stand in this corner, we can activate the enemies. Okay. So now when we come back through here, we're not going to soft lock. And the whole reason we're doing all of this is so we can go track down Slate, who has our shock jockey. He's destroyed all the other supplies of shock jockey, so he has the only one. And now we need to go through this door right here. We got the pop-up text, though. We definitely got it. That unlocks the door from the other side. And we don't have to go through the whole fight sequence where you learn all about rifts and tears and how Elizabeth uses her powers, which is really obnoxious and takes a long time. So we're gonna run down here, activate the trigger down the hallway, which is somewhere back here. There's the lag that we got it. And that's gonna spawn in Slate over here, so we can just bypass everything. Hey, there you go. So this is the one that we do have to pick up first try because it's the only shock jockey available to us. There's just no possible way to bypass this, unfortunately. We're going to spare him. Sparing, killing, doesn't really matter. It's just a little faster. Nothing really changes. And we get shock jockey. I've always wanted to know what plasmids and infusion, or I guess infusions, taste like. Plasmids you just inject, but you get at least drink infusions, which seems way nicer than injecting something.
Yeah.
Like, does it taste like medicine? Is it like blue raspberry? I don't know. It could be anything.
I feel like shock jockey specifically cannot be nice to drink because then you grow like crystals out of your hand, and that's not fun.
True. It's better than Undertow, which turns you into a squid later on.
Worse.
So I just ran through a gate you might have seen, and that's where you would soft lock if you didn't spawn in those enemies before. Now we have this, we go back to where we did that Spider-Man climb, and we get to make our way up to the First Lady. But there's also a lot of enemies in the way, so we're just going to take a safe way back. You feel like risking it. There's a slightly faster way to do this, but it doesn't save a whole lot of time for how much work you got to do. So instead, we're just going to hide back here. The skylines are currently unavailable. So instead of jumping down there and getting on it so you can jump on that skyline later on, we just wait right here. And soon enough, we can jump down. There we go. Explain what soft locking is. It means you cannot progress the game any further, but your game hasn't crashed. So a hard lock, on the other hand, would be like your game crashing or just becoming completely unplayable. Soft locking means you can still play the game, but you can't progress any further. Gonna pick up Bucking Bronco along the way. Get that the second time. It's still in the first spot, but because it's like a different map now, it considers it the second time we've seen it, and no cutscene. So this is the elevator we skipped before. There's a scene with a bee or something. It's been a long time since I've seen it. So once again, we're just using the RPG to take damage so we can run faster anytime we need to like run somewhere. We got Shock Jockey, power this bad boy. And now we have to go through a really fun wave fight, but we can get some supplies first. It's always fun to see what's in here. We never really need anything from any of this stuff. Extra money is always nice. You almost always have enough money to buy certain upgrades that you don't really need. They just help the run out significantly in terms of like going for really optimized times. So getting like extra money can be beneficial, but it's not super important. Anything else, health, food, whatever, is just kind of there. A really fun way to deal with enemies in this game is to pick them up with Bucking Bronco and then just knock them off the side of the map, and then they just fall into the void and die. So if you have an enemy that takes a lot of damage, like these Rocketeers, you just knock them overboard, and then they're basically just one-shot dead. I'm just going to come up here, activate this turret, and just chill out on this roof until all the waves are done. So we have to wait for this gondola to come all the way down, and it's super slow, as you can see. Unfortunately, the railings don't have any collision, and we can't like find a way to climb up. We get to look at this nice ice cream sign down here. Yeah. If we stand up here, all the enemies just kind of travel to us and make it really, really easy. I'm gonna start stacking them up here. So like they both had money on them, which is nice, but it's not a super big issue. Which is a great thing about the BioShock series in general. Like you never really need supplies to like worry about in a run.
Yeah, like the only speed up you can get for this is, you know, if you just get more Sugar Rush procs, which...
Yeah. A Sugar Rush is also one of those, it's like, it's really nice to have, especially if you're going for record or like a really, really tight time, but you can do this entire run without it. The run does require Hellrunner's Hat, but Sugar Rush and like Fleet Feet aren't hard requirements for it.
Yeah. A couple people earlier in chat were asking if people ever do the run without Hellrunner's Hat, and honestly, not really.
It has been done since the mod was implemented, but it's very rare if someone decides to do that. There are like gearless runs where you don't even grind out for the gear at all. You just completely forsake it. People have done those, and I like glitchless would still benefit from it, but not to the same degree. I don't know exactly what they do for glitchless.
Yeah. It's just that Hellrunner's Hat it's such a like useful addition to the run that.
Like all, the death warps that we did in Hall of Heroes, the first and third one cannot be done without it. So important. Gondola is here.
Need some help with this.
We're gonna start taking some damage. We can't die immediately after starting to ride the gondola here, but we can once we get like halfway through. There'll be a certain point where instead of warping just where we are, because a lot of times Elizabeth will just spawn you where you died. We'll spawn all the way up there instead. So once they're done talking is the
I'm sorry, I
signal for that.
Where are you from, Mr. DeWitt?
New York.
What did you do there?
Business much like this. Something that really came.
Get to know each other a little bit more.
It's a fine thing you came along when you did.
How do you think I ended up here?
And speaking of getting to know each other, BT, how's your day been? Since we're just chilling.
It's been pretty good, you know? Got some candy in the mail, discounted from Amazon, which is great.
Nice.
Worked out a little bit, watched KPC kill BioShock 1 and 2, and now I'm here, so.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Thor's doing well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, once we're done talking, just do a little death warp, and you'll see the gondola is still actually coming up. We're just gonna run past it. Pretty much anytime we can afford to use up health, we're going to use Hellrunner's Hat to just boost past enemies and run through different maps.
Suits me.
How do you figure they'd know?
Either they've got a profit on their side,
I also get one more thing, Assault.
or them that hired me also wrote the sentence.
Going through the whole hassle of picking up this many infusions is overkill, but it just makes everything so much nicer in the end. Especially when you're not going for a great time and just trying to get through it, having 1 or 2 extra infusions is it's a lifesaver.
What is that? 40 north by 74 west. That's not Paris, that's New York.
How'd you know that?
One thing I had in that tower was time, Mr. DeWitt. Time to study things like geography.
I owed money, and there's a fellow who he offered to wipe away my debt in exchange for.
Booker's clearly never seen a BioShock 1 run because Elizabeth is about to wrench him over the head. He should have known better. Yeah, this is where Elizabeth finds out that Booker is not quite the man that he has made himself out to be. Instead of taking her to Paris like she wanted, he was trying to get her back to New York. And she's not happy about that. So she knocks us out. She's going to try to make her own way to Paris, which we'll see doesn't quite work out the way she wants to. And we get to meet a whole new faction of residents in Colombia. One fun thing I like about this cutscene is if you watch the people doing the mining here on the ship in just a second, they have no caution for the other workers. There's one that's like hitting a rock right next to another's foot, like an inch away. They just do not care.
And sometimes you can just shirk OSHA? I don't know. Do they have OSHA in this world?
I would assume they do not. There's a lot of malpractice going on in Colombia.
You Fitzroy?
This is Daisy Fitzroy. She leads the rebellious Vox Populi trying to take down Comstock.
And I got perilous need.
Really? Because it sure look like old Comstock's
Which we kind of just skip past all of this here in a moment. I kind of forget how big of a part this is of the game because we've been skipping it for so long that
Comstock is the god of the white man, the rich man, the pitiless.
anytime someone brings that up, I'm like, oh yeah, that is part of the game. Right.
Yeah, I mean, casually, this is like 5 or so hours that you spend just going through a bunch of like time loops with Daisy.
And the Vox shall give her to you. But first, you must help the Vox. Down in Finkton, there's a gunsmith who can supply weapons to our cause.
But there's never an OSHA. Yep. OSHA never exists. Didn't exist in Rapture. Not here. Booker, once again, just taking a lot of damage, falling on his back from a long height and suffering no consequences. Just gets up, runs away. So this is one of the few times we actually get a guaranteed Sugar Rush plus Hellrunner's hat boost. It's got a brief moment of speed there. Whoop. It's a very small jump around the docks here. You might also catch me like swapping weapons really fast back and forth. It's just something I do out of habit. I don't know why. It's picked it up one day. So we can jump around this door, which seems slow. Or I'll just do that. Okay, never mind. We won't do it. So I only have one shot and 1 health left. But yeah, you can get past this cutscene by jumping all the way around. And you also get past one little tear here in a second. But if you don't quite get the jump, it's faster just to go without it. Elizabeth is still trying to make her way to Paris without us, but she's not quite that fast. Hey, balloons, it's a party.
Get away from me.
I like that it slows him down. That was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Just that for some reason he's like, ah.
He's scared of balloons. So dying there's not like any faster, doesn't get us past anything. But there's certain points in the run where we're really low on health and ammo. So if we die, it respawns us instantly with way more health and way more ammo. So when you're having to wait for something like in that moment, you just take a nice death and respawn with more supplies. So we got a little fight here. That guy literally never sees it coming. Just drop on his head. And pick up another infusion here. So this is the fight where a turret is actually considered one of the enemies. Just gotta take out all the guards here. Using a little bit of that aimbot right here.
Told you, gave you the good one.
So this guy right here has the best gun in the game, the volley gun. It is just like the RPG, dealing damage to ourselves when we shoot the floor, but at a much reduced rate. So we can Hellrunner hat boost all over the place. And it is so lovely. Just to bring it up again, because I did catch myself doing that. Anytime I jump to a skyline or a skyhook of some sort, you do see me wiggle the mouse a lot. It's just to avoid a small, like, stunning animation when you first land. It's a very small time save that looks kind of funny. Take another big fall. I also believe it was somewhere in the Hall of Heroes where they explain the grifts and tears and how Elizabeth can bring stuff from other parallel universes into this one. So, like, anything that's gray, like this balloon that we're hanging off of at the moment, is brought over from a different universe in the same place. Goes into a whole big multiverse shenanigans. But it's a can of worms I will not get into. Just gonna run up here, and because we have some money to spend, we can buy a couple upgrades. We're gonna get damage boost for our RPG, and we should be able to get damage boost for our volley gun that we just picked up, which is super nice. And then we're gonna get some extra ammo because we have a little bit of a fight here. So we're going into Finkton proper and kind of the factory at the same time.
That would be your gun.
And by going into it, I mean we're about to skip all of it entirely.
She's good for an airship. I don't care if she's the Queen of Holland.
So just setting up some traps for enemies that are going to spawn up later. They got this Patriot, which kind of acts as like a big daddy in this game. It's not really the same. They're much easier, but so this is where the fun shenanigans happen. So we're gonna do a death warp. We're gonna spawn back upstairs. All right.
Why would Slate have?
So we're doing this to get the elevator upstairs faster. And now we're going to set our health back to 1. So once you get down to 1, you do get some invincibility frames. So if you want to double check that you're down there, you just kind of shoot a couple extra shots. Now, if Elizabeth will get out of the way, I'm going to death warp down through the floor here. So we're down here now. This is the factory. HRH boost around the corner. Into this wall. Through all of this. And we're past the entire gunsmith quest line. If I can get through this wall. Oh no. I spoke too soon. Did it actually not put me through? Oh no. The game has forsaken the run. Oh no. If you ever get into speedrunning, one thing you should absolutely never do is talk about how well the run's going. Been speedrunning for almost exactly 10 years, and I haven't learned that lesson yet. All right, we got through it though. But we're still not done. Because we did all that, the skylines in this area aren't active, so we can't get past this gate, which is fine, because we can just death warp past it. And there's not like Vita chambers or anything like that in this game. A lot of times you just spawn exactly where you die. So if you death warp through a gate, it's like, oh hey, you died over here. All right, you gotta be over here now. So super easy way to skip. I think even optimally run, that whole section is like 15 to 20 minutes. So it's pretty big even in terms of speedrunning. That went pretty well. Coming up on another great elevator ride. You know, you get a big skip and then a little bit of downtime to recover. Doing her best Sponge Gar impression.
I love how Booker pushes buttons. Just
it's
very
great.
angrily.
I think he's played Doom a couple times. Yeah. So this is just where they make all of the different infusions and different parts and gears and shops and whatever else you need. You know, it's the factory. They factor things here. This is also, like I said, past all the gunsmith stuff. So Daisy Fitzroy is going to be like, you don't belong in this timeline because a whole lot of multi-universe hopping happens there to find the guns. So we're not really in the same universe as when we started, or we are, but we went through it. It's a whole can of worms, right? I'm not
Mr. Lin,
not going to explain it perfectly.
I was so set on getting to Paris. I didn't really think that
You couldn't have known this would happen.
I had a role in this catastrophe. If you want to pretend that we're pure...
Also, yeah, Elizabeth is mad because we like killed the gunsmith or something happened to him. I don't quite remember, but for the speedrun purpose, it doesn't make sense.
I saw you die, Booker. Saw it with my own eyes.
Fitzroy. Listen, I got you your guns. I'm here for my airship.
But my Booker DeWitt died for the Vox Populi. You either an imposter or a ghost. My Booker DeWitt was a hero to the cause, a story to tell your children. You.
The handymen are kind of supposed to be the actual big daddies of Columbia, but because you only ever like see 2 of them throughout the entire game, it feels like the Patriots are supposed to fill that void a little bit more. I think lore-wise, the handymen are like using the same technology. So So there's a infusion on the floor that we're actually going to get later on. This is Undertow, which is really, really, really useful and really cool. But once again, if we pick it up here, we get a cutscene. So just going to leave it be and pick it up later. Speaking of handymen, this is a fight where we get to deal with one. I'm going to set up a couple more traps. Everything spawns in the same point for the most part. So if you've gone through the fights a whole bunch, you kind of know the pattern on how to deal with enemies. Once they've spawned in, they can kind of just do whatever they want. So sometimes you'll be tracking them down if you can't deal with them right after they spawn. The one time in the run that we're actually going to use Murder of Crows is once the handyman spawns in here. It is a very great tool for distracting him. Here it comes. The handyman's weak spot is his chest. So if you distract him with the Murder of Crows and just lay into him, it's a great way to get him down fast. Because the weapons of choice for this run are the volley gun and the RPG, you have to be a little careful when you're just shooting shots off. Because if the enemy is too close to you, for example, you'll just take splash damage and die. It's a bad idea. All right, cool. None of the enemies, I was going to call them splicers for a moment, got stuck. There is a very odd chance that a splicer gets like stuck in the building and then you can never kill him because it's impossible to reach.
Kill that child. Booker, we have to do something. We have to act. We have to get in there. Come on, Booker, we've got to get out of here. Boost me up. Go to the window and distract Daisy. Go!
Is this it? Is this your movement, Daisy?
Got a little second to loot all the enemies. So you don't really need anything off these bodies, but if you can get a couple extra bucks, that's always cool.
Elizabeth.
Oh no, there's ketchup all over the floor.
Elizabeth. Whoa, hey, easy.
So despite seeing that horrific scene, Booker's usually pretty cheerful once you pick up this infusion.
Just what the doctor ordered.
He has different lines there, and they all just seem so out of place after you see Daisy just get stabbed to death.
I've been there.
So that maxes out our infusions. We can no longer carry any more. Just gonna pilot this. I have no idea how this is working mechanically, of how it changes the numbers, but Booker apparently does, so that's off them. Also, this thing is not centered by any means. It's like tilted to the left.
This is all they had.
I guess it's fine, but
How do I do what?
it's always driven me crazy. Like,
How do you wash away the things that you've done?
You don't. Just learn to live with it.
also wardrobe change, cut off her hair.
So the moment of truth between us. New York or Paris?
If you guys want to know more about Daisy and a lot of the backstory for Columbia itself, play at least Burial at Sea Part 2. Part 1 feeds into 2, but Part 2 explores a lot of stuff prior to the events of BioShock Infinite. It kind of links things back to the original game as well. The main story in Burial at Sea 1 and 2 isn't terribly great, but the world building it does is really cool. Also, Songbird came back. He's mad. But,
That's not it.
Certainly is.
we're just fine once again.
Here you are.
Booker!
No, that's the E.
No, that is certainly it.
No, it's not.
It is.
Isn't. Isn't.
Is.
Stop it! Stop it! You don't know what you're doing!
There it is.
There is a skip for this section that is so ridiculous. I've never seen anyone like actually go for it. You have to do some like crazy jumps and wall climbs, and it saves like no time at all. It's pretty insane. I hope one day that becomes like more viable. Someone finds a cool trick for it.
And needed where we are. So Comstock.
Just you know, enemy surf out of there.
Oh yeah.
Hop on the loot test.
Perhaps you should ask the maestro himself.
Unfortunately, we don't have telekinesis in BioShock Infinite. They kind of realized how broken it was.
Well, at least
And it's like, yeah, we probably shouldn't just give that to them off the rip. It would be nice. So this is going to look like we do absolutely nothing except do a clever little jump here. But this skips a pretty big fight. For whatever reason, the trigger for that's right at the end of the bridge, and so you can just hop around it. Get some cake. So Elizabeth, a lot of times when you go to lockpick, is going to start talking, and is like kind of a cutscene that you just have to wait around for. But if you run far enough away, or death warp, she'll break open the door like right away. You can just kind of run past. So there we just run far enough away where she's like, oh, I need to be with the player, and then leaves the door. So we're going to buy Charge and Undertow, as well as Undertow Aid, which is an upgrade for it. And then buy a couple more things of ammo. So we still have over $500, so as you can see, money's really not too tight in these runs, which is really nice. A lot of times you end up having to wait on like minor things as well, so this gondola is going to come down, for example, so you have time to loot. And if you just find some ammo or whatever else, it's like, hey, it's a cool little bonus. Sometimes you get here and you find like a few $100 throughout all of these containers, and it's really, really nice. Looks like we're just getting some food today. So what Undertow does, and why it's so awesome, is whenever there's a fight, you can hold it down to charge it up. And you can pull all the enemies into one spot and kind of stun them for a second. So you can just group them up together and then just spam them with rockets or volley gun and just take them down really, really quick. The upgrade we got allows us to bring even more enemies to us.
There you go.
So unlike the last gondola we rode, we can't death warp off of this one. Just gotta kind of wait for it.
I just realized who those two are.
Get a little bit more background on the Lutece twins.
Invented the technology that allows the city to float.
Giant balloons.
Quantum particles, suspended in space-time at a fixed height.
So, not giant balloons?
But the thing is, my book said they disappeared several years ago.
I told you they'd come.
No, you didn't.
Right. I was going to tell you they'd come.
But you didn't.
But I don't.
You sure that's right?
Something tells me they're not exactly what they appear.
I was going
So a little spoiler alert. The Lutece twins are actually the ones that like founded the technology behind Columbia and the multiverse universe hopping stuff. And again, a little spoiler alert, they are actually the same person from different universes.
How do you suppose they manage that?
I'll get back to you after I figure out the floating city bit.
So they're just kind of chilling, watching what happens. They've seen it all happen many times before. Another useful plasmid, or infusion that we picked up. Not infusion. Vigor. I think I've called them infusions the whole night. One of the vigors that we picked up is Charge, which allows us to charge our way to an enemy. Like that. Not like super useful throughout the course of the run, but there is one moment in particular where it helps us a whole bunch, and it's really cool. One of my favorite tricks in the run. So here's a fight. You can't interact with lockpicks when you're in combat, but if we death warp past the gate, we're considered out of combat when we respawn, even though there's enemies around us. So as long as we click on the lockpick before the enemies show up again, She will lockpick it for us, which is really cool. Let's bypass that. Also, Elizabeth will almost always give you ammo right there, which is really nice. She can give you money, health, ammo, a whole bunch of supplies. It's usually whatever you're lowest on. So if you're really low on ammo, she's going to give you ammo. If you're really low on health, she'll try to give you health. If you're pretty well supplied, she'll give you money. So we very rarely get money in the run. Usually we're getting ammo, sometimes health, sometimes salt. The magic code is 0451. Who could have guessed that was the code? Not I. So these little whistlers are kind of like alerts, and whenever they go off, Songbird is alerted to come check out what it is. They're just gonna come say hi.
I like that Booker is objectively just has his head up and is looking directly at Songbird. Like, hey, what's up?
I mean, Songbird, as you can see, has like really bad vision for whatever reason. Like, he's a machine. He could have much better vision if he
I thought
was built to.
I thought it was stated that there was a person in there, or am I wrong?
It's from a DLC.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a Big Daddy suit, essentially.
That's what I thought. Well, it's pretty heavily implied in the main game too, I think.
It might be on like one of the side parts. I don't know. I've forgotten the basic lore. It all kind of meshes together. Also, Elizabeth's hands are either really tiny or Booker has like the biggest hands in the world. I always love this part. It won't come to that. His hands are like 5 times the size. Now we're going into downtown Emporia, which if you've played this game, this is where the ghost of Lady Comstock resides. And it is a whole ordeal that you've played through, you probably remember, because she is the hardest part of the game. We will never see her in this run. If we do things right. There's also a handyman that spawns in here, which was actually used for a skip in this area for a long time until this method was discovered. So we can get over this gate by like walking on this invisible ledge and then aiming down sight can kind of like push us forward. Hit a sweet spot. Just ignore all the enemies trying to kill us.
This clipper's pretty wonky, even on like the best of days, just because.
Yeah, you need to hit like a certain part of the slope for it to start working, and it can be a little hard to find. That's a vigor right there that we're just not going to deal with. We don't need it for the run at all. See if we have enough money for this. Because of how fast these scroll, it's a little hard to find what you're looking for. Every now and then, we are looking for the clip increase, the volley gun. Just helps us not have to reload as often. We can hold like 16 shots in the gun as opposed to the 8. So our current objective is to make our way to Comstock's house to deal with him. And then usually from there, you're put on the task of dealing with the ghost of Lady Comstock, Elizabeth's mother. We will not be partaking in any of that. So this is a situation where I just unfortunately didn't get enough health along the way. Perfect. There's multiple ways you can skip this gate. The way I'm going to show off, if I can, is if you have good enough FPS, just like the parade skip at the beginning, you can like hold into this wall and just slide. And eventually, start.
I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, this is a fun one to do. This is like FPS related, so depending on what your FPS is, it can be kind of weird. I'll always do the backup if needed. This one's just fun to show off. Oop. So you kind of get like stuck on the wall, and then you start sliding through. So however it decides let you go in. Okay, that should be good. Yeah, there's a method where you use death warping and respawning to get past the gate, which they're both about the same time, just depending on how long it takes you to clip through the wall. It's just that one's always more fun to show off because it looks so weird. All right. First try? So instead of going through this cutscene, we can use Hillrunner's hat, jump far enough, and hit a certain trigger. This is a really tight timing. Elizabeth's gonna be in the way. Thank you for the ammo. So if you want to know how you can tell if you've gotten this right, you will hear Songbird cry out into the void. Because usually this is the part where you activate the lever, and then Songbird shows up and kind of it takes Elizabeth away from you. So there we go. All it took was a reload.
Nice and easy. Yeah,
so doing that's going to warp up into the future. And we actually have Elizabeth with us, which she's not supposed to be here. She's supposed to be gone. Songbird's supposed to take her back to Comstock. And we have to go rescue her. So you hear her talking, but she's also just right behind us the whole time. Another spot we're going to take an intentional death so we get back our health and supplies. And this is where charge comes in real handy. It's one of my favorite tricks to do. It's Comstock's house. It's a level that we just completely bypass.
That is a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, you have to be in a particular spot and like have to do just the right timing when you jump. But, I've played this game a couple times.
A few times.
For those that played this is where the most disappointing enemies in the game are.
Should be able to head downstairs and get to Elizabeth now.
These guys. They're kind of there for a moment, and then we just never see them again. Elizabeth is still with us. So we can die to get off this a little early. But we do have to wait for the Lutece twins to spawn in this rift here. You can see they're not there. If we go down this staircase before they're there, you soft lock.
What is it? Why'd you ask what?
When the delicious
Get over here a little bit faster.
Lives, lived, will live.
dies, died, will die.
Yeah, this is also supposed to be like 10 plus years in the future. Which is why everything's like covered in ice and decayed. All right, Elizabeth is gone now. Sometimes she's even here, which is always fun to see present Elizabeth and old lady Elizabeth together.
Into motion, slides into its terminal stage. It took all I had left in me just to bring you here.
Elizabeth, I don't understand. I heard you screaming. I was
Does Elizabeth's AI still help in this bug state? I believe she still can give you supplies when you're going through that section. I'm almost certain that she can. So this future version of Elizabeth is going to show us the prophesized destruction of
Flame the mountains of man.
cities.
Say what you will about Comstock. He was a hell of a fortune teller. It wasn't the torture that broke me. It wasn't the indoctrination. It was time. Time rots everything.
One little trick you can do. So
It was coming.
push right into her hitbox.
Yes, but I would find a way.
Not gonna happen today.
For your sake. Yours and hers. Here.
You kind of stand up on top of her head if you get it just right. It's another FPS related thing. It's always fun.
She'll know how to read it.
Aged 50 years and 10 years. Yep. It's definitely more than 10 years, but I've forgotten. I'm not a lore master of this game. I'm going to be honest with you guys.
1912. Before she...
Sometimes all that counts is you just go fast.
There's Elizabeth right next to us, and she's also right there. Multiverse. This can cause a problem for us here in a bit. It doesn't always happen. There's not really a great reasoning why it does, but when we go to save her, she can just despawn and cost us 40 seconds waiting for her to come back. It's great.
Maybe if I shut down those machines from upstairs.
We'll see what happens. And normally in speedruns, you want to go as fast as possible, but once we pull the second lever, if we actually try to like Hellrunner's hat boost and stuff through this, we'll go so fast that we just clip through the map and fall down into the void. So we just take it real slow here. Yeah, as the place is shaking, you just don't want to boost at all. Time to unplug Elizabeth from the Matrix.
I got you. It's okay. Okay, I'm gonna fix this. You ready?
Just do it.
If she's going to despawn, she's going to do it once she goes to retrieve her jacket from the pallet over there. Like I said, if she does despawn, it's about 40 seconds time loss that you just can't prevent. But we'll see what happens.
For you to have this.
What is it?
Just read it.
Your dream of New York happens. It's me. I'm the one who...
She's given us a way to get past Songbird. We're gonna find an airship and we'll leave Paris, Elizabeth. Remember, you wanted to go
We're not leaving. We are going to find Comstock.
Why?
You saw what he turns me into. I will not allow that.
And so what? You're going to kill him?
All right, well, let's see.
This is where you start moralizing, Booker. You forget. I know you.
I'm not going to let you kill him.
Really?
And she's still there.
Booker. What are you?
Didn't lose 40 seconds. Let's go.
Not a damn thing. Because I'm gonna do it for you.
That's what I like to see.
How to find the prophet.
Comstock's
So the next level, we're gonna like want to almost instantly do a death warp. So we're just setting that up. The reason you lose 40 seconds if she's not here is because you need this lock picked. So if she's not in the map, you just obviously can't have that happen. You just gotta wait. It's always real fun when you get like an hour and a half into a run and just lose 40 seconds for no reason.
Cage. Did she say anything about this?
No.
So now that we've made it to Comstock's house, we need to make it onto the hand of the prophet, his ship. So we're gonna have to make our way out there, battling a whole lot of enemies along the way.
Sure thing.
So once she starts actually picking this lock, do a death warp, and that's gonna break her out of the little dialogue that she has. Just instantly open it, which is pretty cool.
How thrilling to launch.
Now we need to deal with a few enemies before we can grab a ship of our own. Got a couple Patriots here and a couple regular enemies. It's not really too important how you go about killing them, as long as you just keep shooting and use a vigor or two if you so decide. I'm out of ball gun ammo. Okay.
Thanks.
So, a well-placed rocket can knock out all the enemies on the ship, which is pretty nice. Considering I'm out of volley gun ammo entirely. So there's a line mentioned and said at the very beginning of the game, the very opening of the game, that gets called back to here. And we're going to go through a couple of enemy ships to get to the Hand of Profit, which is somewhere way off in this direction.
I don't see much use in that. No. But I'm afraid of you.
Despite us having to do these fights, there's not a whole lot going on at the moment. So if you're liking this run, you're liking my commentary, you can take this moment to go follow me on my own Twitch channel. I do different speedruns pretty much every night except for Mondays, 8 p.m. to like 2 a.m. Eastern. So you're like, oh man, this is a great time for me to be watching runs. Well, I'm gonna hop on over there. I've actually been derusting BioShock 1 and 2, and I'll be derusting Infinite a little bit more to do some actual Trilogy attempts, which is running all three back to back to back. Do some anthology attempts, which includes the DLC as well from time to time. Been running a whole bunch of other games as well. The recently released Deathloop, which is a really cool run if you haven't watched it. Really cool game too.
Yeah, Deathloop is a really, really cool run.
Yeah, Deathloop is an amazing run. So she doesn't give you ammo back for both of the guns that you have, which means she's not going to give me volley gun ammo unless I'm shooting volley gun ammo and I'm low on it, which is a really unfortunate thing that have happened. If I can find some, might be able to get some back, but the RPG's great early game when you don't have the volley gun, but once you get the volley gun, you don't really use the RPG too much, except for big chunks of damage. There we go. So the Rocketeers, you just once again just fucking Bronco up, knock them off the map. It's a lot easier to deal with than trying to use 10 volley gun shots to kill them. There's full volley gun ammo. Nice. Worked out just as I planned. I believe this is the last ship we have to deal with. Every now and then, one of the enemies will jump over to your ship, which is really obnoxious because you always lose track of them. Now we're going up to the Hand of the Prophet. There's a really crazy trick we can do here, and it requires usually about 350 FPS. You can get by with a little less. More is more beneficial. We'll see how it goes.
I wouldn't go near those lines while those pods are in place.
Comstock is at the top.
So jumping off the skyhook into this thing, you can get launched up, which is not the FPS trick, but it is important. So this is a place we're not supposed to be. And with higher FPS, we can climb this. So the higher FPS, the easier this is to climb. It's actually being pretty nice. Oh my god. For From here, we can grab this skyline, which you're not supposed to be able to. And that unlocks this skyline down here, which has Patriots on it that normally you have to wait for them all to drop. And it's just like 3-4 minute wait where you fight stuff. But doing deck skip, as it is known, just bypasses all that. And that was really good. Oh my God.
Yeah. Deck skip is one of the things that new runners really struggle to learn just because it's so incredibly precise.
Yeah, it's not only tough to do, but it also has that requirement of high FPS, which if you don't have a really beefy PC is usually pretty hard to hit.
Or if you just crank down the settings to like nothing.
Yeah. Usually even if you crank it down, you still run into an issue with your like CPU. So people are like trying to turn down their graphics and it's like, it's not doing anything because the CPU then bottlenecks. But we're not done doing the skips, hopefully. So we're gonna jump off of here. Hope we don't get stuck in the wall. Okay. And now we need to die while clicking on this bad boy. It's okay if I don't get it first try, as long as I die before I use the thing. So I just respawn right here. It's pretty forgiving. Sometimes you can just skip over invincibility frames, like what happened there, if the damage lines up just right. It's kind of annoying when that happens, but this is a weird quirk of the game. Okay. So much like Hall of Heroes, I got the hard part pretty quickly, and then the easy stuff takes forever. Past the invincibility frames. If I can't get this here soon, we can just go without it. This one's not like a huge trick, huge time save. It's always cool to do. I was like showing it off. Give it like 1 or 2 more goes. We got plenty of time anyways, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Thought I missed it again there, but yeah, if you die while opening the door, you kind of lose all collision on your player model. You don't like fall through the floor or anything. But like, for instance, you can see inside Elizabeth's head, which is kind of creepy.
Siphon.
I saw this there. I could hear you singing from above. And the machine came to life in response.
And then in my mother's grave, there was a smaller one. They were
We're going to use this later on to skip past a locked door that normally you have to sit through her dialogue
just to open tears, but I could
for her to finish pick locking it.
to anywhere I wanted to go. In the tower.
It's a really great tool if you're a dentist. Just, oh, yep, that looks like a cavity right there. So this is what the entire game has been leading up to, our showdown with Comstock. Going in for a big boss fight by putting away our weapons.
Into a trap.
I need to do this.
Come here, child. Oh, come on, I don't bite. My, oh my, how you have grown.
Tell me.
So because we went through the whole trouble doing the Prophet Cabin skip there, he already has some jelly on his head. You think with all the water he could wash that out, but
Elizabeth?
guess he just likes it.
I've done to keep you safe.
Safe from what?
The seed of the prophet shall sit the throne and drown in flame the mountains of man. But the archangel revealed something else. Beware, prophet. Beware the false shepherd, Booker DeWitt. For he shall be as a wall between her and destiny.
Why?
DeWitt, I'm a fool. I've sent mighty armies to stop you. I've rained fire on you from above. I did all of that to keep you from her, when all I needed was to tell her the truth. Ask him, child. Ask him what happened to your finger. Ask DeWitt.
She's your daughter, you son of a bitch! And you abandoned her! Was it worth it? Huh? Did you get what you wanted?
Booker.
Tell me!
Booker.
Tell me!
It is finished.
Nothing is finished!
Booker.
You locked her up for her whole life!
Booker.
You cut off her finger, and you put it on me!
Booker, stop it! You killed him.
That's the final boss, dead. Easy as that.
Easy every time.
What did he mean?
All right, so this is where the whole setup we did before comes into play. Normally they have this exchange between them about stuff. But yeah, we can just walk through the store now. Why go through the trouble of like standing on a splicer and using telekinesis to fling yourself through a wall when you can just walk through it instead? Also, we can finally take a peek at that note that she has. It's definitely readable. Not sure what it says, but sure we're gonna find out here soon. So this is the actual final fight of the game. It's not a boss fight, it's just another wave that you gotta do. It's got a lot of Vox Populi, it's got some regular soldiers. A-G-E. It's not a word, Booker. It's a song. You can always tell when you've speedrun a game too much when you can just quote the dialogue back every time.
Oh, yeah.
Now Songbird's gonna be our friend. Woo!
I do like that his eyes indicate how mad he is at you.
Yeah, he's got mood eyes. They just changed the color of his emotion.
Protect me, will you do it? Will you do this for me? Just this one last thing.
So we get this mechanic in this fight where Songbird, every so often when he's off cooldown, can just strike down a ship for us for free, which is pretty useful. Makes things a little bit faster. So Undertow and the upgrade for Undertow become really, really handy for this fight because there are a lot of enemies and it's very easy to lose track of them when they're all jumping off the ship. That's the game telling us, hey, you have this mechanic now. So there's a health bar on the top right, which is this like siphon energy core thing. And the enemies will try to keep jumping down and attacking that. So if you ever can't find them, they're just over there shooting that. Makes it pretty easy to find them. Regular enemies, we're just going to shoot until they're dead. The cannons, rocketeers, we're just going to, once again, just knock off the ship. It is possible for this fight the soft lock if like one of these enemies falls off the side, but falls into like the side of the Zeppelin and doesn't actually die. I shouldn't have said anything because it's probably going to happen, but kind of rare.
Don't curse yourself like that. Don't bring that upon us.
It's fine, we got plenty of time. The annoying thing if like this fight soft locks or the one back in the factory is you don't find out until you're past all of the other enemies and you're like, oh, there's one I can't kill. I have to do the entire fight over. So yeah, Songbird can take down the Zeppelin for us. It's really nice. And these ships always spawn in the same order in the same place.
I was trying to figure out why I kept saying W, and then I remember you play on ESDF.
Yeah, if anyone's ever curious, like, why does it say W for interact? Why would you use forward to line stuff? I do use ESDF for movement, so everything's shifted over a key. It's another thing like jumping on the sky rails and shaking the mouse. I just kind of always forget to explain. Just so used to it. Okay. So when we get 2 Zeppelins spawned in, that means we're right about at the end of the fight. We're gonna have Songbird, once he's off cooldown, take care of one. And this is actually something a lot of people didn't realize playing through casually. You can get on these Zeppelins and take care of them yourself, which is really cool and useful for the run. So waiting for Songbird takes forever between Zeppelins. You just run in here and sabotage the engine, and that will destroy it. Songbird should be just about off cooldown, and he is.
What a throw.
And then all we really have to do from here is go down and clean up the last enemies attacking the siphon, energy thing, whatever this is. The blue light. They're like moths to a light. They just can't stay away. You can just kind of check to see if there's any more enemies. Sometimes they run up here. Sometimes you have Rocketeers that spawn on either side. Looks like we're just lucky enough not to have them this time. So now we're just waiting for the fight to like recognize that all the ships are destroyed. You get a little bit of lag, and then quest continues. Look, it's some more ammo. Yeah, we're just waiting on her now.
Booker, catch.
This is going into the outro of the game. There's no more fighting or anything we gotta do, so we don't need the ammo. We can just shoot off some fireworks.
Booker, come here.
What is it?
Look, you can use the Songbird to bring the whole damn thing down.
So to catch us up on the plot, Elizabeth's powers are being weakened by the tower, which is actually a siphon, which we saw briefly when I was being a dentist a couple minutes ago. So to unlock her full power, we use Songbird, who's now on our side, to take out the rest of the tower. And that gives Elizabeth just unlimited power, and she goes a little crazy with us.
Poor Songbird.
And if you pay super close attention, you might notice that we're gonna visit somewhere you might have already seen tonight. It's super subtle. I don't know how you'd ever catch this, but whoa, we're back in Rapture.
Where is he? Where is
So subtle.
I always thought it would be kind of interesting if they saw, like, you know, if he warped us into, I don't remember who the protag from the first game is called, but if you just saw him, like, in the background running around.
Yeah, Jack, the giant super mutant baby.
Yeah.
It's not quite clear when you're coming through here because it's definitely after the fact, but then, like, a lot of Burial at Sea stuff is before the fact, and then they kind of... Universe hopping is always messy. I'll just say that.
Yes.
There's also a Big Daddy and Little Sister over there. So yeah, this is where you get Electric Bolt at the beginning of the game.
One of many.
Normally.
This way.
What do you mean it's a doorway? Where are you going?
Oh, come on. Yes, it's this way.
What Comstock said about your finger. Is there an answer here? Do you...
Down here. This is where we have to go.
Why? What is going on? Elizabeth, what do you mean this is a doorway? Probably gonna regret this.
I'll have to show you.
It's always a kind of tedious part for runners to get through because there's not really much you do from this point towards the end of the game, but it still has chances to soft lock and go wrong, and it is just such a bad feeling to lose a run right near the end to basically nothing. Just kind of going through some story beats, learning more. We also still have that Prophet Cabin skip collision bug. Looking to see through her eyes.
Look at that. Thousands of doors. Opening all at once.
So beautiful.
My God, they're beautiful.
The stars?
So yeah, we're diving into the whole multiverse, parallel dimension, timeline hopping shenanigans to
It's this way.
unravel the story of the game.
Are you going to open it?
It's no good. Damn it. I thought once we were here, I could fully control it. I thought
What is that?
it's a key.
Where did it come from?
It's a key.
It's always been there. I just couldn't see it.
A key definitely fits into that hole, for sure.
Deus Ex Machina. Gotta believe.
So, like the Comstock gate skip and the parade skip, you can kind of get stuck in this wall here. Go far enough, you can jump up on top, not over. Whew. This is ever so slightly faster than taking the normal way. And it's also faster in this section to walk backwards because you can't run. But because of Fleet Feet, I now actually remember what Fleet Feet does, like an hour and a half later. It makes you move faster when you're strafing or going backwards. So when you can't sprint, moving sideways or backwards is faster. Also, Elizabeth is floating over there. It's always random when she falls, if she does. So it's kind of fun to see how far she can go, or what happens. There's a very small trick you can do here, but it is really sketchy to go for when you're not in practice. You have to walk on some more invisible walls, and if you miss, you go into the void, and you go a couple minutes back. Oh, she fell. Got close to the end.
You've already been.
See if I can navigate my way here. So if you spam jump there, and I mean really spam jump, so much so that it's on my mouse wheel, you can get out of that cutscene and come over to this lighthouse instead. And usually in a casual playthrough, it doesn't matter which one you go through. But if you break out of one and you come over to the other, you get to skip a bit of dialogue when dealing with this preacher. You overlap some audio, which is always funny to hear.
Right after Wounded Knee. I was looking for... Yes.
Do you want to clean the slate, leave behind all you were before, and be born again?
No, I don't want to. Yes.
Jesus!
This goes back and forth between no and yes. No, I don't want to. Yes. No.
Stop it! Get off me! Get off! Son!
You didn't go through with
You
it.
think a dunk in the river's gonna change the things I've done? Let's get out of here. Hey, these doors of yours, they're all tears, right? Well, open one up. Open one up to Paris. I want to be shut of all this.
Not until we find Comstock.
Comstock's dead!
No. He was here. This way.
Basically summarize what's happening in the story. I don't want to explain it beat for beat because it's a whole mess. Comstock is still alive in the multiverse. So we're trying to track down the last remaining bits of Comstock, but we're also like going through Booker's past, kind of unraveling everything. But no one cares about that. Just look at this doorknob. Look how perfectly textured this doorknob is. It's so high detailed. Oh my god.
There was no baby in
I want to remaster just for this bad boy. Oh yeah.
You don't leave this room.
Look how low quality this baby is versus this doorknob. It's just,
Bring us the go
oh man.
and wipe away the debt.
Go ahead.
No.
The baby always just has a like
Eventually
uncanny
you'll get
valley
what you
eyes.
want.
I'm extremely not a
Yeah.
fan.
I can see all the doors.
Well, it's one of those quote unquote subtle nods towards the twist. It's like, hey, if you haven't figured it out yet, here you go. It's gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna happen. So now we're back on the boat at the very beginning of the game.
There was no baby. The deal was I go to Columbia to get you.
Booker, they're bleeding.
Oh. Remember. But I remember.
Now we've upset him.
I don't expect this next bit will do much for his mood.
Come on.
I'll be honest, I never really understood this ending of the game.
Comstock's dead. We can just go on with
This-
our lives. You don't need to.
You mean
With all the multiverse stuff, it never quite made sense to me.
He is alive in a million.
Yeah, it's on a surface level, like much multiverse time hopping stuff, like somewhat makes sense, and then you start thinking about it, and you're like, well, there's some paradoxes and plot holes here and there.
Yeah. If I didn't think about it, I'd be much happier.
Right. Yeah, this is where everything clicks together, or if you haven't already pieced it together, then it should. So the baby, shocker, is Elizabeth. She is the daughter of Booker. BioShock is all about abusive dads and just really bad dads. Also, the doorknob's now on the right side, different universe.
Anna, Scott. You shared this room with your regret.
And so Comstock in his universe couldn't have a child because of Lady Comstock.
Offered you a chance.
So instead of like adopting or doing whatever, he decided to use the Lutesses, who already knew about multiverse hopping, to then take Elizabeth from a different universe, which is the one that we're from. And in the process, her pinky gets lopped off, and because she exists in two different dimensions, she then has the power
Don't see the point.
to open rifts to different dimensions. I guess that's how superpowers work.
I suppose the man is his hair shirt.
That's how she has her powers, and her pinky's gone.
Away the dead. Here's the girl. Wipe away the dead. Here's the girl.
Starting to put the story together.
Wipe away the dead. Here's the girl.
He's manufacturing.
Well, the brain adapts.
Here's the girl.
Booker, wake up. Booker, wake up. This is where it's.
So one more boat ride, and all done.
To your credit, you did try to weasel out of the deal.
This is all Comstock's fault.
There's a lot more nitty-gritty stuff
Killed him before.
to the story, but I'm sure there's plenty of videos and
How would one know how far back to go?
explanations out there that could explain it much better than I could.
Back to when he was born. And I'll smother this son of a bitch in his crib.
I'm sure there's some kind of big, long explanation video by someone far smarter than us.
Oh, yeah. All right, and then time's coming up in 3, 2, 1, time.
Are you sure?
A bit more cutscene to go through. Get to see how things truly end. Well, until the DLCs. Spoilers. So everything goes back to Comstock after the Battle of Wounded Knee, which gets referenced in like Hall of Heroes.
Of course it is. I remember.
Booker had the choice to either get baptized or not, and depending on which one he takes in the universe that he's in, either he remains Booker or he turns into Comstock and founds Rapture, or not Rapture, Columbia.
It all has to end. To have never
So these are different universe hopping Elizabeth.
Smother him in the crib.
Smother. Before the choice is made. Before you are reborn.
Name you take, my son.
He's Zachary Comstock. Please, Booker, do it.
Well, got anything to promote?
Yeah, if you guys like this run, I mentioned it just a bit ago, but if you weren't here or didn't hear, I have been de-rusting the BioShock 1 and 2 runs, learning all the crazy new strats. So if you like those, you know, doing plenty of those runs over on my channel. I stream every night, except for Mondays, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern, usually. I have plenty of BioShock runs and another Infinite run that I did for a GDQ a while back. If you're looking for more of these or plenty of other FPS horror puzzle games, have all that good stuff. But yeah, on like Friday, we're going to try to do a BioShock Trilogy run, which is all 3 games back to back to back. So you can see this again up there. And who knows, we might throw in some DLCs from time to time. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for having me on AIMBOT. Thanks for providing that sick AIMBOT that helped me so much throughout the run. It's great. I'm going to be using that in every run from here on. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out in chat. You guys are awesome. If you like the content, also sub here on GDQ to help them out, keep things going. I think that's all I have.
All right.
Pretty fun night.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming to do this. Really like seeing BioShock Infinite runs, so it's cool when people can come and do them.
For sure.
So to close out the night, just got a few last announcements. Once again, Frost Fatale's game and volunteer submissions are open until November 14th. So go to gamesdonequick.com to check that out. If you missed out on any of these hotfix shows, on any of these BioShock runs today, or the Ender Lilies run from earlier, check out the archive at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to check us out at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick for the live shows, starting most nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. And of course, hotfix is funded in part thanks to your subscriptions and bits. So please consider subscribing if you like these shows, or if you want to obviously just hear the cool music during the ad breaks. GDQ Sum of Best segments is available on YouTube, which is small highlight reels from all the different shows and all the different marathons that we do. Really cool. A lot of, just quick hits of each run. And finally, feel free to tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern for Mercy Kill, followed by Never Before Seen. All right. Thank you all very much. Have a good night.